All right. Oh my god. Oh my god. This fucking cat's gonna stand at the goddamn window and keep. Oh, I fucking hate Opie so much.
Uh-oh.
I can't fucking listen
Start
to this.
over.
I have to let him in. No, I'll just. It's fine because we're synced up. We'll just let it roll. You piece of shit. I was out for 3 minutes. Oh my god, that cat sucks so much. Hello world of August 15th, 2019, and welcome to the second episode of the Ragdoll Farcists Pudcast. Today we're going to try to keep it concise and a little more sober, as we really rambled into some sticky territory just days ago in our debut episode, because we're the two crude dudes, the pants himself, Josue, and yours falsely, Jeffe LeJuice, casting our puds coast to coast. Thanks to Devilment for opening our show today, and Rocky Erickson will close us later. Boy, I'm in rough shape. My back's hurting. Started hurting last night. I took today off work. I've got my Aspercreme patch on, and I was thinking, is this what being old is?
How old are you now?
27. I'll be 28 in October.
Oh yeah, this is old. Because like around 27 is when your brain stops forming. So like that's who you are. You're old now. You're this way forever.
I'm old. I'm this way. My back sucks. And then last week I was talking about getting sick and puking, which never happens to me. So apparently I'm just breaking down.
Yeah, I would say it only gets worse from here, but that's kind of cliche. It doesn't have to get worse. You can start exercising and like eating better, and then like it'll slow down the worsening,
Yeah,
and you can help it out as much as you can.
I've been losing weight, paying attention to what I eat more, and I haven't cut carbs completely because I would never be able to, but I've cut down on them a lot and pay a lot more attention. I seem to be dropping pounds though, so whatever I'm doing, it seems to be working.
Do you feel like it helps not having the carbs?
Sometimes. Generally, I mean, I don't know. I feel mostly the same.
I cut them out by like 90%, and like I mean like weight just fell off of me, and I totally had more energy and stuff. And especially like for some people, like when you cut carbs out, it's like your liver thinks that you're dying, and it like secretes this some kind of chemical that gives you like utopia. So for like
Ooh.
when I first cut out carbs for like 2 weeks, I was the happiest I'd ever been in my life. It was fucking awesome. But then it kind of came back a little bit, my misery
Uh-huh.
of hating everything.
It always comes back.
That's not true. That's not true.
That old familiar. Oh, it always creeps back.
Yeah.
Um,
Here it comes. People
And
are
then-
talking and I don't like it.
and speaking of throwing up and being sick and shit for that Hart and Joan Jett concert, I forgot to mention another funny part of that story was apparently when I was in the car passed out and like sick and dry heaving and sleeping a little bit, Jeffelyn, whom I mentioned, Mom and I's friend, apparently suddenly like I guess had to shit pretty bad. And so she was rushing to the bathroom.
Girls shitting is funny.
Yeah, I know. And so Mom was I guess like she was like walking fast trying to get past people, and my Mom was like, yeah, I can't go that fast, I'm gonna piss myself, because she's old and old ladies can't hold their pee so well. And then but the funny thing is that Jeffelyn said something like, out of the way, people, there's no time.
I think did you say this last week? I remember this.
I don't
kinda
know
remember
I don't know
this.
if I said that part or not. I might have told you like beforehand or something,
Yeah.
and then forgot to mention when we actually got to that part.
Oh,
So
Maybe.
that
whenever we talked about it in the podcast, I don't remember. I think I mentioned in the podcast I had been drinking for like 12 hours,
yeah, you did.
and so we might be cutting a lot out of that podcast. I'm not sure. I haven't listened to it yet, but I don't remember a lot of it. So
Yeah.
probably not the best debut.
Yeah, right.
We'll see though. Maybe
stay
we'll leave
tuned.
it all in. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. We also toyed with the idea of making it like a Patreon like reward. Like if you want to give us $1, you can get the full offensive uncut version.
You want to hear
Where we
drunk people
just
rant
sound
about
like
things they don't like.
idiots. Yeah. And use some questionable uh, words, terminologies. All in all, it went well though. I think we decided to cut after about 2 hours and 40 minutes, and there was still a bunch of stuff we had on the dock because we were too fired up on the video game scapegoating and the Colin Moriarty PAX ban and just PC cancel culture and stuff. So we'll get to what we cut there
Well,
in this
that's kind of like
episode.
what our website's all about. It's
Oh,
PC, making fun of PC shit. That's all we've done.
uh-huh.
That's all we've done since we've came back online.
I know. I do have that idea for that Absolute Carnage comic books launched, and for some reason he has the Dreamcast symbol on his forehead. So stay tuned, readers, because I'm gonna do something with that, and it'll be refreshing to have just a silly article that isn't bashing PC people for once.
Yeah, we haven't updated the site in a couple weeks either, so we should get something up.
Yeah. Um. Anyway, namely what we cut. I have a Rocky Erickson spotlight. An artist passed away, died a couple months ago. At like the height of my fandom, like around there. Like I was still really into him, and somehow didn't realize he had died until like a month or two after. I was like, what? Oh, that sucks. But anyway, and then we both have seen Slough-Feg in this same tour, so we'll talk about that a little bit. And Mr. Bungle has announced a few reunion shows. Very exciting. Today in gaming, we'll talk about a controversial gaming opinion or two and our take on Modern Warfare's gritty rebooting. So sit back, relax, and wait patiently in the back seat as the Pants and I put this vehicle in neutral and coast down the boat launch into a morass of madness. So, since we just did the other show a couple days ago, I don't really need to ask what we've been playing, but you did mention Spider-Man, and we didn't get to talk about it, because I think that might not be a bad thing. So, like, what did you think
You
of
could just
Spider-Man
lie to me
overall?
and say we did talk about it and just make up all of my words because I have no idea.
You talked
Uh,
mostly about Days Gone,
did I
but
talk about that? I was
yeah,
wondering,
we talked
did
a
I
lot
go
about
on and
Days
on about
Gone.
Days Gone?
Yeah,
Holy
we talked a
shit. I
lot
don't
about
remember
it.
any of it.
Oh wow,
That's weird.
that was still pretty early too.
God damn it.
Wow,
What a day.
we're problem children.
Yeah, I did start playing Wolfenstein
What the hell
New
happened to
Order
us?
a couple
Oh, you
days
did.
ago.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we
Uh,
talked about that too. I didn't say much, but yeah, I've been playing part two. Well, cool. You should play that, and then part two, and then we can play Youngbloods. But what are you thinking of Wolfenstein? You
it's
throwing
really good.
you throwing the
It's
knives
a
in the
lot
heads?
better than I thought it was going to be. I mean, everyone said it was really good when it came out, but I'm one of those people who has to like see it for myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, once I got into it, I was like, this is really good. Every level feels like its own. It's really thought out, and uh, it's almost like every level almost has its own mechanics that they introduce. I mean, I'm only like 4 hours in, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's really good so far.
Cool. Yeah.
Shooting Nazis with a shotgun in each hand feels great.
Yep. Are you messing with stealth very much? Very much?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to it, right? Just crouching and stabbing.
Yeah, but you can. I just mean like, are you playing that way? Because you can just go in guns blazing. But like I was saying, I play on the mode that's like one above normal. It's like basic hard, and there's like two or three hards above it. But you pretty much have to. In most areas, if you just run and gun, I remember finding that I usually would die. So at least if I could take out a few with stealth before alerting people. Like I love
Oh
the
no,
mechanic
I've
of like stealthing in and like trying to find the general and taking him out. At least taking him
right.
out before anyone sees you, and then at least they can't call the alarm. I think that's really fun.
Yeah, I'm playing on just normal, and I've had no problem just
Shh.
running and gunning. Everything's pretty easy. I always have full armor. Uh, the hardest level was like the nightmare level where you play the old Wolfenstein. Like that.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, I was thinking of putting it on one above normal, but I had heard people say this game was really hard, so I just thought I'll leave it on normal, see what happens. And yeah, it's not hard for me at all yet.
Yeah. Yeah, there are tough areas whenever you play on hard, but you know, as long as you just pay attention to what you're doing and try a little bit and trial and error a little bit to learn an area, you might die a couple times, but it's not really too bad.
Yeah.
But
Well, that game's like 4 years old, so
yeah.
we're going to talk about Spider-Man?
Yeah. What do you think about Spider-Man then? We both platinumed it. It's not a bad platinum. Definitely a
Joe
good platinum.
Piter. No, it's a pretty easy platinum, I would say.
Yeah.
There was nothing I struggled for. Did I talk about the Days Gone platinum? And I did, right? The last like couple of trophies that were more of a pain in the ass for me to get.
I don't think we talked about the trophies for Days Gone so much.
Really?
I talked about them with Resident Evil 2.
Well, anyway, back to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Uh, I thought it was really good. I think the writing was mostly really good. It had parts of dialogue that I was like, maybe I cringed a little bit, but overall,
Mary
I thought
Jane.
it was plain Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird to see Mary Jane be a plain Jane, but yeah, I don't know. Her character was fine. She's not my kind of girl.
Yeah. I was
But
kind of into her.
oh yeah, you were saying that you're into her. Why?
I don't know. I think it is the plain Janey just ness. I was also always in The Witcher. I was always a Triss man too. So
Oh,
my
so you like redheads, or is
so
just like
it's
plain Jane just feels like, oh, she's not still out of my league,
yeah.
like the cartoon Spider-Man where
When
she's
she's a
like a
supermodel.
supermodel.
Yeah, what? You saying women have to be supermodels to be attractive, Josh? What the hell gives?
Well, there's different kinds of attraction,
Yeah.
but I mean, it just depends. No, it depends. She has her own type of attractiveness, sure, but I didn't like her attitude, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you saying that. I don't remember minding it because I bought that they were broken up for a while and that they had history, and I felt that the way that I felt her attitudiness was like a grudge kind of that she was maybe holding because of the
Yeah,
way that their relationship had ended before the events of
right.
the game. So it it never like stood out to me as like cringy or bothery, but
No,
I
no, like she didn't really make me cringe so much. Some of like Spider-Man's one-liners,
mm,
um, some of his jokes, like goddamn, I wish I could remember. It's like somewhere near the beginning of the game where you're fighting a boss, and he says something like Spider-Man is spelled with a hyphen or something like that. And I was like, as an editor, I appreciate that joke, but it seems weird. It seems weird to me.
like why was he yelling it?
Uh, yeah, like why is he yelling these grammatical rules for how you spell Spider-Man? I mean, like I get it. Whenever you spell Spider-Man, everyone has spelled it once in their life. Like maybe everyone has wondered, is there a hyphen in it? There is. I don't know. It just felt like a really it felt like a writer joke to me. Like if I was writing it, I would be like, oh yeah, I should do this. Then I would probably back off and be like, I don't know. It's kind of like it's just a joke for writers almost. But maybe I'm full of shit.
I don't know. I feel like I've seen like I don't know. I've seen maybe in some other kind of like Spider-Man thing like jokes about that too or something or like I don't know though. Whatever. Like people spelling it with a
Yeah, I
space
mean,
and stuff.
um, I think some people didn't like his whole Spider Cop thing, but for whatever reason, I was actually kind of into it. The whole him fucking around as Spider Cop.
Yeah, that didn't bother me at all. Um, I loved how Yuri something the voice actor mocap guy um, how he would speak more confidently and be a little zanier and stuff when he was in the Spider-Man costume and he was a little more kind of just like modest and petery when he was Peter. Like there was a noticeable difference. I, no, you know, between the way he spoke in costume and not, and I thought that was really awesome too. He's my
So
favorite.
what did that have to do with Yuri?
Uh, he, oh, the guy that does Spider-Man's voice acting is named Yuri too.
Oh,
So yeah, it's a little confusing. So not Yuri in the game, which is probably maybe why she's
okay.
named that. Um, but yeah, no, the Spider Cop stuff I thought was fine. I don't know. I all in all, I love the game. When I was playing it, um, made me feel like real nostalgic kind of, and like for like the cartoon and everything, and reminded me why I love Spider-Man so much. Like as I was playing it.
Yeah, I mean, the combat is like some of the best combat I've ever experienced in any video game. Uh, just like being able to fight 12 people at the same time, and if you're in the zone, you can dodge everything and you take everything out while you're switching your weapons and like taking all these people down. And at the end, there's all this carnage just splayed about, uh, and it just
Pe-
feels awesome.
People webbed to the walls and like strung up on
Yeah,
lamps and shit. It's so amazing, especially later in the
it's
game too when you have all the gadgets unlocked and there's just so many different options for
yeah.
what you can do in different situations. My favorite tool I remember was like the I think it was Equalizer, where for 5 seconds you kill everyone in one punch, like even the brutes. But if you get hit once, you die. And I would use
Oh,
that.
yeah, I unlocked that at the end, but I never used it.
I would use that a lot for like the combat challenge missions to help like finish those in like better time and stuff like that. But
Yeah, I haven't done the DLC yet, so I still have time to use all that stuff that I unlocked at the end. But yeah, I've only played through the main game. I haven't done the DLC. But
yeah, I definitely recommend it.
it does make me feel like kind of similar to playing the Batman games, the Arkham games. Like I feel like almost like I'm playing with action figures, but as an
Yeah,
adult. Because I used to love action figures, especially Spider-Man when I was a kid. So being able to kind of like change all of my costumes whenever I want, and like it just made me feel like I was a kid playing with action figures almost.
yeah.
And it's like rare that something can make me feel that way, even in a video game. So yeah, I really appreciated it.
What Yeah, definitely would recommend um the DLC. The first episode reminded me a lot of the cartoon too, and it was just amazing. But and then the second episode's whatever, and then the third one kind of brings it back. It's definitely worth playing. They're not that long. I didn't do any of the extra side stuff in them too because it's not tied to a platinum. I kind of just did the story missions and. But what costume did you use through? I mean, you said you would switch throughout because I played the entire game just with the actual just costume in the game, and then once I got to the DLC, I switched to Scarlet Spider and
Really?
played all of it like that. Yeah,
Jesus.
I mean,
How'd you do that?
I would switch to them for a
Oh my
second
God,
just
I
to see what they
switched
look
so
like,
much.
but I just wanted to like I wanted the I don't know. I guess to me it was more like like the canon experience or whatever. Like
I think that so the original costume, like they made that themselves,
yeah,
Insomniac.
mm-hmm. With all
I
the
think that
lights and
costume
stuff.
is one of the coolest costumes in there. Uh,
I wasn't sure at first. I thought about it, I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna play this game just with the classic costume, but then I was like, no. Once I played a little bit, their costume grew on me a lot. I think it's one of the best too.
yeah, but I used it one of the least. I mean, most of the costumes I didn't use at all, but there's probably like seven that I used for 4 or 5 hours each. Uh, so I mean, I think I ended up using like the black and red Spider-Man one a bit, the stealth or the noir one,
Uh huh.
the one that's like neon, like white and black. I used a lot. That was my favorite for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember any of the names,
Yeah,
but
me either. But
and the one that's neon white and black. That's also the superpower I used for almost the whole game,
superpower.
where it just I think you just click your sticks and it just like a little explosion that comes out and hurts people. I used that for almost the whole game, I think, until I unlocked the ability to charge up your hits and take out everyone in 1 or 2 hits, and then I
Yeah,
used that. Not the one that where you die in one hit, but the other one.
yeah, yeah. Scarlet Spider all the way for me. Once I beat the game,
But
it's so awesome. The all
But
red one with the blue like hoodie thing that just super 90s. Like the eyes are real big and white and stuff.
yeah. One thing. One thing I was kind of disappointed, just not that disappointed, but slightly, I guess, was they had the E3 trailer, and Spider-Man goes through, kicks a bunch of people's asses, and then he gets caught by the villains, and then like one of the villain unmasks themselves, and then Spider-Man's like, "It's you," and I was like, okay, so is this going to be some kind of big reveal? Like, where is this scene at? And it doesn't come until like 80% through the game, right? And then it just ends up being I won't spoil anything, but it just ends up being who you kind of at that point you kind of yeah, of course, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a surprise.
Oh right, yeah. Yeah,
Like,
I
I
think
thought
I
it was
know
going
what
to
you
be a
mean.
whole new villain that like you just didn't expect because like the E3 trailer made it look like crazy.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
I was like, well, yeah, Durr.
Duh, duh.
Uh,
Yeah,
but
good stuff.
there was nothing at all majorly disappointing overall. Easily. Wait, did that game come out last year?
Yeah.
Was that a last year game?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah.
just started playing it, so
I got
uh,
I got mine with, of
it's funny.
course, the PS4
I've
Pro
been
Special Edition Spider-Man Edition.
I, I wondered if
No
like,
big deal.
can I just say like, if can I say an older game was my favorite game of the year, or does that not count? I was wondering that last year because last year I replayed through like BioShock Infinite, and I was like, this is my favorite game I played through this year,
Oh
even though
right.
I've already played it before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, that's easily one of the best games of last year. I think
I,
I probably enjoyed it more than God of War. That's weird because like
that's
God
what
of
I
War
said.
is gets this. God of War is like one of the best games I've ever played, but at the same time, at one point I took a 2 month break because I just kind of didn't give a shit. I didn't care about going through the world and doing all of the random stuff for the trophy, all the side stuff. At one point I was like, man, I just kind of want this game to end, and it won't end.
Mm.
Uh, Even though I love it. Um, anyway, yeah,
Yeah, I think I'd started it, quit playing for a long time, didn't get very far, and then so whenever I went back, I just restarted the game. But once I started playing it, then I loved it. I can see like objectively how God of War is probably deserves Game of the Year, but my personal Game of the Year, my favorite, I would have to say Spider-Man. Just again
yeah.
the the
And mine
the
was
things that
actually
the
Far
things that
Cry
made me
5
feel.
last year.
Oh yeah, that's right. I still haven't played that. Actually, I didn't bring it over here. I was gonna say I could share my backlog list, but it's somewhere else down here in the basement. So whatever. But Far Cry 5's on there, so I still need to play that. But
Yeah.
but
So what are you
anyway,
saying? Spider-Man made you feel things in
yeah,
your groins,
yeah, oh yeah, my loins, girded my loins.
and you just play with a boner for 80 hours of gameplay?
Yeah, I had to go see a doctor like those commercials. If your boner persists longer than
If
you
you play
know,
Spider-Man for 4 hours or longer with a boner,
consult your physician.
consult your doctor. Excuse me, doctor. I've been playing Marvel's Spider-Man on my PS4 Pro, and I can't get rid of this raging erection. Would you stop playing?
What's
Oh,
wrong?
okay.
But I can't. Um, so you want to get into the Modern Warfare stuff? Um,
Yeah. I think
this
we've
is
been bullshitting enough longer than
yeah.
we thought already.
This is also a couple weeks old. I mean that uh, coverage is still going on and everything, but the conversation started, I guess, maybe like a month ago or so. But still worth having. I just got the latest Game Informer and it's on the cover. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. But anyway, um, at some I don't know if it was like Judges Week or something. Uh, for the Game Awards or E3 or some junk, but it's somewhere there was a preview event and they had showed this level where you start off and like I think in London and London's um there's like it's like London or Paris and there's like a terrorist attack going on and you are part of this team. Then this character that you play in this segment, uh, like the task force, like it's trying to track these people down, and you track them to their hideout, some like flat that they're living in in the city, and so you you break in real like it sounds like Rainbow CG kind of like realistic like tactical shit, less like your traditional Modern Warfare kind of just more just cover based guns blazy kind of waves of people coming at you experience.
Yeah, man.
But
Do you think
anyway,
it's really going to be like that though?
I hope so. I mean, it it
I
must be.
doubt it.
It's sounding like it. But anyway, so then the point is, I mean, it might not be super tactically once you're actually playing, but this character you're
Yeah, it'll
playing,
just be like a quick
it's
time event or
it's
something.
that kind of an idea. But from what I understand, you go in and so there's these terrorists are living here with their families, and so there's like women and like children, and the one example that I had heard, well, I was listening to Greg talk about it on Kind of Funny, but he was saying that so like for instance, you'll see a woman like go for like a crib or something, and you don't know if they're just stashing guns in the crib or if she's actually going to get a child and protect her. And so like you have to make that split second decision whether you want to like shoot her or not, and then like you have to like you know live with that and like realistic gritty shit and the
Gotta live
developers
with it.
you gotta
What
live
do
with
you
that
what
pain.
What do you think happens if you don't shoot her though? She just like does she shoot you, and then you just lose like 15 health, and then you're fine?
All right,
Like
yeah,
like should you just wait and
yeah,
see what happens?
yep, probably because well. And then once you think about it too, if you have the opportunity to shoot her, she's not going to be going for a baby because there's not going to be a chance that you can shoot a baby in this game. So I don't. So that was just the example, I guess,
That's
what
true.
he was talking about. So chances are she probably just grabs a gun and just starts shooting you a couple times and it's fine, and then you just murder the shit out of her. Who knows? Um, but okay, well, so the point being that they're just going to for like real like gritty realism and like morally gray areas and tough decisions, which sounds great to me. And then real quick, the other scenario that they had played was you play as these two kids, this young girl, and then there's your brother, and you're I can't remember where they are, if they're in Russia or what, but some Russian soldiers are like going through this town and sacking it and shit. So there's this big like brutish soldier that comes into your house, and your dad's trying to protect you, and so this guy's like stalking you through the house trying to find you and kill you all. And at one point, I guess like you're sneaking around as the kids as your dad's fighting off trying to fight the Russian dude, and then you get like a screwdriver or something and you stab the Russian guy, and then that distracts him, and then your dad's able to like get a gun and shoot him or something, but then the dad's already injured and he dies. Blah blah blah. So
Spoilers.
so it's supposed to be like this. Um, so that sets up these characters then that as they're she's going to be one of the player characters in the game as well, like as an adult, and then so then that's her like story, that's her introduction to I guess explain and show you why she like grows up to be a freedom fighter and blah blah blah. So
Right.
again, so then the debate then was like, oh, like is this wrong? Are they taking this too far? Some like actual like real life Marines and like veterans, some had expressed concern that like oh, going for this kind of realism, like you can't possibly know like the developers like what we actually go through, and should they even try to capture that, and what are they glorifying it, blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
so that was the discussion then that was going on, and so um based on that information, what do you think
What do I think?
about like the the
Yeah, yeah.
ethics of blah blah blah, if they should be
I
doing this
mean,
and stuff.
I I'm a writer, and I don't like anybody telling me that I can or can't do certain things. I think any artist, whether they're a musician or whatever, will say, and video games are an art. There are
Yeah.
writers, there are artists, like visual artists, directors. It kind of Video games kind of encompass everything. Music, it's everything.
Mm-hmm.
So to say, well, maybe you shouldn't do this, to me, it sounds like, well, why? I know, I get why. Okay, I get like, it's like some people will be offended by it because they think, oh, this is like a controller in a kid's hands. and they're not taking it seriously. Maybe they're afraid it's going to be a joke or something because it's just a little kid playing. It doesn't have to be a little kid. I mean, there are age ratings on these games. This game's 18 and older, I'm sure, whatever, 17 and older.
Mm-hmm.
But I always think it's good to challenge people.
Mm-hmm.
And if this emotionally challenges somebody in the right way, if it's done right, then that's good.
I think that's
And of
part.
course, not everyone's going to, yeah, there's going to be a lot of little assholes who sit down and just laugh at it, of course. But there'll be a lot of people who get something from it too.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to get everybody with it. Um, so
Uh,
yeah, I think as long as it's done in good taste, that's all that matters. It's not like they're these kids making this, that game on Steam that was like Hate. Was it just called Hate about
oh
school shootings
God.
or something?
Right.
And
Yeah.
I didn't even see that game. Maybe that game, even that could be done in good taste, maybe somehow. I didn't see what they were doing. I'm just assuming probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
But
Ah. That was
yeah,
another detail too that I neglected to mention was also that it's the idea that this is Call of Duty too. Like maybe if some other new franchise was attempting this kind of like gritty, realistic storytelling, that maybe people wouldn't have so much, pause about it or like a wrong impression about it. But being that it is Call of Duty, that's known for just multiplayer score streaks and
yeah. I mean, Call of Duty's almost always had a single player, um,
yeah, but
and they have
I
their.
guess that they're tackling such heavy themes compared to what they've done in the past. I guess
Yeah,
is
I
part
mean,
of
they
it.
have the heavy theme. I think it's the same development studio who did the airport at single player where you could just mow
Um,
people down.
I think this is Infinity Ward. Was Modern
Yeah, I think
Warfare
that one was.
was Modern Warfare 2 Treyarch? Because Treyarch went to do Black Ops, but I think Treyarch also did Modern Warfare 2, maybe. I could be wrong
Huh,
though. But
I'm not. I
but
think Treyarch was Black Ops, right?
yeah, yeah. But I don't know if they did Modern Warfare 2 before that or not. For some reason, I think Modern Warfare 2 was not Infinity Ward, but maybe it was. I don't know. Or Sledgehammer or something, maybe.
Was that in Modern
'Cause
Warfare? The air? I guess it was. Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2 was the airport. And a quick aside, and this this ties into this too a little bit. I had mentioned on the first
It was
episode
it was
about.
Infinity Ward.
Okay.
Sorry, I just checked.
No, okay, yeah, that's
So
fine.
yeah.
Um, yeah, good to be clear. Good to be clear. That doing part of I actually opened my one video game aggression research paper with like a quote from that one of the characters says, and like in that mission, like remember no Russian, and then I talk about how the mission is, and I talk about how it was taken to be like, oh, you how fucking terrible this is. You're shooting up a goddamn airport, like video, like what is this video game? Like, but in the context of the actual story of the game, you're a double agent, and you're not supposed to feel good about doing that, and you don't have to either. You can play through the whole level without firing a shot, from what I understand. I've never
Right.
actually played it, the whole point was like, no, this game is telling you a story. You're a double agent. It's putting you in his shoes. You're supposed to not want to do this. You're supposed to not want to just shoot these innocent people at this airport. That's the point of it. But
Yeah. Well,
you're working for this terrorist leader, and you're working undercover to try to bring him down. And at the end of the
that's the
level, he
problem. Everything's taken out of context. It's just they just take the worst part of the story for clicks and they put it online, and then everyone checks it out, or most people don't even check it out. They just read the headline and they say, "Oh, this video game, you murder innocents in an airport," and then everyone's pissed.
yeah. So just like this, I feel like people are worried. People aren't seeing the context. So just like that mission, they're basically taking that concept and, from what I understand, making an entire campaign basically of that concept where you're getting into situations where, again, like morally gray. It's challenging you to make hard decisions that people are actually faced with in real life war, and they're not easy decisions. And And to me, I find value in that. Like you said, it's not for everybody, but again, that well, okay, well then don't play it. Um,
Yeah.
but to me,
I wish that message stuck today.
I know. Oh,
Oh,
I
you don't
know.
like something? Don't listen to it.
Just avoid it.
Don't play it.
Move on with
Don't
your fucking
go.
life.
You don't want this comedian at your college. The tickets, like, you don't have to go. Just stay at home in your fucking dorm and jerk off. Sorry, here we go. I'm sober this time. And nothing's no different. I'm the same.
um, but yeah, I see value in it. I like to be challenged. I had mentioned playing Vampire, and that to me was one of the most compelling things of that game. Where it's like, well, I'm at this boss, or like I have to fight this enemy, but I'm having a really hard time. I have to go eat somebody because I need this experience boost. Because I was trying not to eat people. I went as long as I could, but it's like I have to. So who's the shittiest person that I can feel will have like the least negative
Yeah,
impact on this like section of this town if I eat them. And then like one guy's
right.
like a serial killer, so I ate him and like shit like that. But
Yeah,
so
that
I
game
like
does a
that.
pretty good job at that game does a pretty good job at making that choice hard.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. If you actually
yeah,
care and want to play the game that way, yeah. But yeah, I see value in that, and also too as someone who's lucky enough, whatever, to like never have had to be in a war or see combat or go through something like that. I think why not give me an idea of like what our veterans or whatever, like what they go through, you know, like what's wrong with giving people an idea of what the people that are,
right.
fighting for your
It's like
country, like what they're actually going through. At least to me, at least it'll give you a little bit of an understanding of what people are actually doing to, like for you, kind of idea. And I think that's
yeah,
totally fine.
yeah. I think it's like this stuff happens, and this is a war game, so why not? But
Mm-hmm.
again, it's they a lot of these people probably aren't gamers, and that's why when they think of video games, they think of things like they probably think of like a medium that's not serious. They don't think of video games like movies
Right.
where things can be done professionally, or they because and a lot of it's because of the word game. It has the word game in it.
Yeah.
So it's like, would you sit down and play it? Well, I don't know. I was gonna say, would you sit down and play a board game that's like has serious dark shit, but I guess there's like risk and stuff. But that doesn't have serious dark shit. It's just rolling dice.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think whenever older people or parents just think of video games, they just think of like Call of Duty multiplayer. They just think of like people shooting people in the face and some numbers pop up and some people call each other derogative shit. And that's what video games.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that there are stories and that it's an actual. Uh, it's one of the best art forms to tell a story through that people just don't understand yet. A lot of people don't
Absolutely.
understand yet.
Absolutely. That was another part of the conversation that was going on like a couple weeks ago too. Was um, and we kind of decided quickly to do this tonight. I didn't prepare as many notes, but someone, I don't know if it was like the Modern Warfare like Twitter or if it was Activision Twitter, but someone had said like had tweeted about oh, like we're introducing oh fuck, what was it, some kind of like poisonous gas. I'm blanking on what white phosphorus. Whoa, like we're
Yeah,
introducing white phosphorus as a score streak. Like, get ready, players, for the sweet new white phosphorus. It's gonna be fucking cool. And I guess was like the tone of it and how that is like opposite of like the guys that are writing and directing the campaign. Like they're trying to tell a real serious story, and then at the same time you have your social media marketing people being like, yeah, white phosphorus, sweet. And so then
yeah. Is that
there's a little
tweet
thing.
still up?
I don't know. Again, I never like looked into it anymore, but um,
I gotta check.
so I don't know. Yeah, go ahead and check that out. I think it was about a couple weeks ago. Maybe if you yeah, just search it, maybe you'll find it because I don't remember if it was Modern Warfare Twitter or Activision or what. But um, so again, so mixed messaging, I guess, was also a talk. Was also the talk there, like a couple weeks after the initial talk of like the demo they showed came out. So yeah,
Yeah, I
a
mean,
little weird there.
if if that's how it went, that's kind of weird. I can't find the tweet. I need some time to read. You want to sing a song?
If you leave me now, you take away the biggest part of me.
What's that?
Ooh, baby, please don't go. I don't know. Some 80s. I can't remember who sings it.
Maybe they deleted it or
Ooh,
changed
baby,
it.
please don't go. White phosphorus cod. I guess we could just edit this if we need to. This dead air. White
Nah,
phosphorus cod
we're
tweet.
fine.
I'll see if I can find it.
No, all I see is like some tweet about own the opposition, reap the rewards. And then there's like a screenshot, and the screenshot says white phosphorus. I think this is it.
I just
I think
found
this
that
is the
too.
tweet.
Maybe that's it. Because from what I heard
This is
about
not a
it,
big deal.
no, from what I heard about it, it seemed like it was more like bro-y kind of weird messaging thing. But if that's all it was, and yeah, that's fine. Reap the rewards, white phosphorus. Uh,
Yeah, it seems fine. Unless somewhere in that picture, does it say something like offensive in that picture below the white phosphorus text? Cover the battlefield with white smoke flare canisters that will disorient the enemy. Nope, seems fine. This seems like not a big deal.
oh, get out of here, military times. Yeah, own. Oh boy.
Oh boy,
Oh boy, get out of here. Yeah, own the opposition, reap the reward.
now
Yeah,
what?
that's all I see. So, whatever. Yeah, who cares? That's not a big deal. But yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's not a big deal.
Any closing statements
Well,
on
that was
that? I think we about.
well, yeah, I guess there's that game Spec Ops: The Line, and
Oh, yep.
don't people get that game credit for being dark and like taking these, making you do things that are not good to people to do.
Yeah, white phosphorus specifically in that too. I think was one
Oh,
where
really?
where
Yeah, so people like kind of praise that game for that, but it
I
seems like they're kind of shitting on Modern
I
Warfare for trying the same thing.
I heard there's a point where I think you have to use it, and then like you have to walk around and like look at the devastation that was caused for you, like using the white phosphorus or something. I believe I heard that about Spec Ops. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember ever hearing talk about that game until until it was within the context of this Modern Warfare argument, and people were like, "Well, Spec Ops did it." It's like, "Oh, well, I never even heard about that before." So it's like,
Oh, yeah.
so apparently, yeah. So apparently it wasn't. So apparently it is more an issue that it's Call of Duty doing it, and not like
Yeah, I mean,
its own thing.
they'll be fine. I don't even think people
Yeah, that'd be
remember
fine.
this anymore.
Yeah,
It's just like
probably not.
people get mad when they find things out, and as long as you don't apologize and you just say, "Hey, calm down, everything's fine, we're handling it like adults,"
Yeah,
then it goes away and people forget. And I think that's it
indeed.
with my Call of Duty comments.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I don't. I pretty much said my piece on it. Do you want to do controversial gaming opinion real quick,
Oh, I forgot about that.
or should we just move on to music? Because
Do I have a controversial opinion, or is it just you?
I don't know. I don't know if you do or not.
I
Uh,
think Metal Gear 5 sucks. I think the second half of Uncharted 3 sucks.
oh,
That's a
I
good conversation, the Uncharted 3.
I don't.
Because I think the first half of Uncharted 3 is some of the best Uncharted. And I think the second half just falls apart and it's trash.
I don't remember enough about it to have a good conversation with you about it though. I've only ever played each Uncharted once, and then just kind of moved on and never really thought about them. So that's not. I mean, if you want to go more into detail about that, you can, but I won't be a good
Yeah, I shouldn't say Metal Gear
conversation
5
person.
sucks. I've installed it twice, and I've made it to the first level, and I got spotted. Like, okay, I was playing one time, and I had all of this shit planned out, marked everybody or whatever. I was like hiding behind this dumpster, but like my toe was slightly sticking out, maybe half my foot, and I got spotted. and then everything was ruined, and I was like, I can't do this. I just don't have it in me.
Yeah, I
And that was it. And I love Metal Gear. I love all four of the other games.
I
I
liked it.
couldn't do it.
Right. Yeah, I liked it, but it's definitely the weakest Metal Gear for all the reasons that people have talked about by now. But a similar story for
It's just
me.
weird because to me, I just felt like Metal Gear controls like trash, but the story is so good, I play it.
Uh huh.
And so this game, it was like, what if we just made the game based on the controls and got rid of cool story parts?
Yeah.
It's like, why? This why?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Very strange decisions. Um, Real quickly, my story for that the one time like early on in the game, one of the like first camps I was raiding. I was inside a building, like hiding behind something, or maybe I was just crouching through. But outside the window, right outside this window of this hut was like a staircase, and from my view, I could see a guy's boot on the step outside. But he spotted me, even though really his face would have been staring at the wall. But I guess his boot had eyes, so I got spotted.
The boots have eyes.
The boots have eyes. Um, but yeah, no, I don't remember enough about Uncharted to have any real input there. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think we're going to go pretty long again if we keep rambling on. So
Right.
you might as well just talk about this game you hate that everyone else loves.
I don't hate it, but my controversial gaming opinion, folks. Zelda Breath of the Wild is overrated. um, I'm still playing it. I haven't played it for a couple weeks, but I'm on the final Divine Beast, and all that stuff is fine. But like even you've said like, oh, the exploration is so great. Everyone talks about how great the exploration is, and everything, and it's great. It's a fine open world and everything, and it looks pretty. But to me, compared to like something like The Witcher 3, the world kind of just feels empty. Because even though you can like look and it's pretty,
Really?
and you can go anywhere that you see or anywhere that you want. All that's going to be there is either like some wild animals to kill, uh, a Korok to find, or just some moblins. The same fucking moblins you've been fighting for the last 30 hours, or like the lizard people that you've been fighting for the last 30 hours. Like that's all you're going to find there, or a shrine. And to me, it's like,
I mean,
well,
I haven't.
you know,
Go
it's
ahead.
uh, so if you do see an NPC, because like at one point I was like, I came across these moblins like fighting these people, and like I was like, oh, something's actually happening. That I stumbled upon something cool in the world. I'm gonna go help these people, and I killed the moblins, and they're just like, thanks. We're just looking for truffles. I said we shouldn't look for truffles, but thanks. And it's like, oh, that's it. Like no, like nothing. Like that was it. Like it wasn't a quest. It wasn't. They didn't give me anything. It was just like, hey, thank you for rescuing me. And then that was it. I was like, oh, well, that wasn't rewarding at all. Like, uh, it's just,
Yeah,
it's just the same
I haven't
shit.
played that game in years, so
It's
I
just
don't
this,
know. But I remember, yeah, it is a lot of like you just find the what are they called?
the shrines.
The no, yeah, well, the shrines, which I always loved finding them because I always thought they were really fun. Most of them.
Yeah, they are.
I did like 80 of the 100, and there was like three that were just like, what are you guys doing? Usually they had motion controls. It was
Oh my
trash.
god, I fucking hate those ones. I know. But yeah,
But that
the
and the
Koroks in that.
Kuroks,
Yeah,
yeah.
those are fun little
Uh,
puzzles too. But it's just
yeah, I just felt like I don't know. I was addicted to like always seeing something and being like, I want to go there. Now I want to go there. I want to see what here is. Can I fight this thing yet? What's this? Like I just couldn't
hmm
stop exploring. Like I didn't find it boring at all. Like I was always having fun. And but like the divine beasts, I think were my least favorite part. One of my least favorite parts. Um, especially like the flying one. It seems so rushed and like it almost like it didn't belong there or something. And I haven't played it in years. I haven't played it since the Switch came out, so
okay. Yeah,
I can't go into too much detail, but just exploring and then finding where you can like uh, pull that sword out of the ground and upgrade your sword with the more powerful one.
yeah. Oh yeah, that stuff. It's cool. I mean, again, it's a great game. I'm not saying it's bad. I just think people give it too much praise in certain aspects, probably just because it's Zelda. Like I don't know. Like
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that
I
this
don't
game is a
think
perfect
so.
10 by any means.
I don't like Zelda.
I'll give it a 9.
I don't, and I played, and this is probably one of my favorite games of all time, and I don't like Zelda. This is the only Zelda game I've ever finished. So it's not just because it's Zelda, it's just good. So I remember like starting the game and walking out of like the cave and picking up a stick, which all of this stuff sounds really basic. But then like you just walk to a bonfire and hold the stick in the fire, and then it catches on fire. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, well,
And then you're like,
that's kind of
whoa.
crazy, these elemental mechanics. And then walking to a tree and then holding the stick up because there's an apple hanging from the tree, and then the apple would cook because of the fire. And I was like, this is crazy. This shit's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah,
And all of it
those
sounds
parts are
really
awesome.
simple, but like figuring out these elemental mechanics without the game holding your hand at all, I was like, this is actually really cool. It felt like a really lighthearted Dark Souls to me, where it just like dropped you into the middle of the world and said, there you go, figure it out.
Go have fun. Yeah.
And that exploration that it just didn't hold my hand at all, I thought this is great. I can't believe Nintendo had the balls to like not hold my hand and let me go and have fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very true. I do agree with that. I guess my main gripe would be I just wish there was more to find. Like for example, like something like Skyrim or Morrowind or Oblivion. Uh, you see some like weird random cave and you go in it. You don't know what story you're gonna discover in there. There's probably gonna be some journal, and then as you go through the cave, you're just gonna find out like, oh, maybe there's some like necromancer in here, and maybe he's like been preying on people from like the village, or maybe it was like a mining thing, and so you're going through this mine and there's all these dead bodies, and the deeper you get in the mine, you start seeing like trolls or something. It's like, oh, so they got invaded by trolls and they were murdered by trolls like in the middle of the night or something. Like there was always a little awesome story to be found, or like no matter where you went. And in this, like I said, just you can explore anywhere you want, but you're gonna find the same couple things, underwhelming things to me whenever you get there.
Yeah,
So it's like, eh.
yeah, it's not the same. I think I still got a lot out of exploring, but I also knew what I was getting into. Like I just knew like it's going to be a shrine or some combat or something simple or the off chance of something slightly different. But yeah, like Skyrim is way deeper and crazier when you explore.
Mm-hmm.
So I would agree. Like Skyrim is like I would say Skyrim is better than Breath of the Wild. But I don't know. Like The Witcher's open world just kind of feels like it just kind of feels empty to me. Like yeah, there are question marks, and you go to the question marks and you kill things, and then there are treasure chests. But I didn't feel like there was too much of a reason to explore in The Witcher. Like I wasn't finding cool story elements or anything really. It just kind of felt like
Sure. And unless you were going
you're
out
just killing
on a
things
quest,
and
yeah, no, it's true.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're actually doing the side quests, yeah, then it's deeper. But yeah, it's just to have like an open world and have like these static NPCs that stand there in town. It doesn't feel alive to me. It almost feels pointless in a way. And so maybe Zelda, I appreciated that there was less of that. I mean, there were towns where NPCs would kind of stand around or whatever, but every game has that. But um, yeah, like Skyrim's exploration and like never knowing what you're gonna find, even weapon wise. Like sometimes you just find crazy shit in there to unlock. Like you can find a book to read to unlock more skills or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like almost always worth exploring there. Like that game's crazy, but
One of my
yeah, Breath of the Wild is different.
yeah. Um. Oh.
Although I will say, like in Breath of the Wild, near the beginning, you find that place where all of the weeds are red, and so you can light them on fire, something like that, or like the wind will carry the fire through them and like
Oh
burn
yeah,
all of the
yeah. There's a
enemies.
bunch of puzzles like
And then
that
it's
too.
like
Yeah.
it never happens again through the whole game. It's just at the beginning. And I was like, that's kind of weird because I thought that was really cool.
There's something I was gonna say about some. Oh, Mormon. Just gonna guy falling. Just gonna make a note of it real quick. Um.
Like they didn't play with like the wind elements, the wind and fire elements apart from the beginning section.
There are a few shrines that I've done that are based around that, where all the puzzles in a shrine are like based around burning the leaves in it, or but they're pretty easy puzzles usually. Because if you see those, I was like, oh well, obviously I have to burn them, so it's not really a puzzle
Yeah.
because you just know what you have to do and then you do it, and then
Right.
um, really quick aside, and then we'll wrap up the Zelda thing. But just just talking about like open world things. I was thinking one of my favorite like gaming memories was the first time I played Morrowind on your computer, and then like you exit Balmora, and then there's like that high elf just falls from the sky and just lands and dies in front of you, and then you loot him, and his journal is like he was testing a new like super jump
Oh yeah.
scroll, and then
Right.
that's it. I mean that's it. You just find out that no, that's why that happened. It's like holy fuck, and it happens like immediately. I mean if you go out of town in that particular direction, and I remember the first time playing that game that did, I was like, what the fuck? Where'd that guy fucking come from? Like, cause you see him screaming and he just hits the ground and dies.
Right.
It's like, and then he even has a scroll. You can loot a scroll of like it's levitation. That's what it is. You can loot his journal and a scroll of levitation. It's like, oh, that's fucking cool. And I just feel like you don't get
Yeah.
cool little things like that in Zelda, but I understand it's a different
No.
type of experience too. But
Yeah, that game was mind blowing for its time. And it didn't really like have markers that pointed you where to go, and it was like a giant world.
yeah,
And I was like young when I played it, and I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I have no idea where I'm supposed to go. And you could kill any main character,
and
but
then
it would tell you like, hey, you might
Hey.
want to reload a save.
because you just fucked
You
your
fucked
game.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then yeah, last thing about Zelda too. The combat's fine. Like it's great. I hear people talk about, oh, the combat's amazing, and it's really good. But I don't know why it's what makes it more amazing than other great combat games. Just another thing that I think people maybe give it a little too much credit for. Again, it's great. It's not bad combat. It's really good. But and then also the certain parts, the stealth parts, or like the stealth missions are really annoying, I think. And it's like this isn't fun. This is kind of like archaic-y feeling like gameplay. It's all the mandatory stealth part. Like okay,
Yeah. I
keep
did not like those missions either.
okay. I have to do this again, like almost like the Metal Gear thing. We're saying it's like, oh, somehow this asshole saw me, so I guess I'll redo this entire area again for the 8th time. It's like, ugh, I'm just tired of doing this. Um, and then oh, there's this one mission where you have to escort a Korok guy. It's in the sword area, like the forest, and I got
Oh
all.
yeah. Yeah, that's fine, right?
It took me a few tries. Like it was just really annoying
Really?
because you have to sneak and follow him real slow. And you have to watch him do the same shit that you've already watched him do 3
Yeah.
times because he failed.
Well,
But
the speed of it sucks, but it's not that hard, is it?
it's not that hard. But I got towards the end, and he started getting attacked by something, and he yelled out to me for help. And so I ran out and killed the thing, and then he saw me, and then I had to restart the mission. But he called to me for help. He knew I was there, so I came out and helped him, and it counted as him seeing me. What the fuck? And I was really pissed off about it.
Did he know you were there? Did he?
Yeah, 'cause he called for help. He called out. He kindly called out. Whatever he
Did he
said.
say, "Help, Link, Link,
He
get
says
out here"?
he says like Mr. Hero or something. Yeah, like he doesn't say Link, but he says something like "Help me, Hero" or something. Like he I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird. So then, like, when you replayed it, that didn't happen.
Yeah, no, that it was like some wolf or something. I don't know if it was supposed to be there. So then next time I did it, he never got attacked by any wolf, and it was right at the end too, which was extra annoying. But that's it. Okay, so yeah, we'll move
So what
on.
would you give Zelda out of 10?
It's definitely I'm on the final Divine Beast right now, but it's definitely deserving of
9.9?
like a 9. Maybe like a maybe even a 9.5. I just don't think it's a perfect 10
I
necessarily.
don't know. That's not that controversial. You gave it a pretty high score.
Yeah, I would. I have more complaints about it than I think.
I think it's better than Spider-Man.
Nope. Nope.
That's
Um,
me. That's me.
Do you think it's better than Spider-Man?
Probably.
Whoa, no way. No fucking way.
Sorry.
Um all right. Well, that's it for gaming discussion today.
Yep.
We're going to move on.
Right at the hour mark.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I
not bad.
guess we like bullshitted for 2 minutes before we actually started. So never mind.
Oh yeah, I had to let that asshole stupid cat in.
The reader's time will be different.
subscribe to the to our Patreon if you want to get the pre-show where I'm pissed off that I have to let this stupid annoying cat in. Um,
Just
uh,
kidding. We don't have Patreon yet.
yep, jokes.
Maybe ever.
Nobody wants to give us money for this.
Who would want to get? Who would?
Oh my god, idiots probably,
Yeah, don't
morons.
give us money unless you're a REIT.
um, all right.
Beep beep.
Before we get into music, today's episode is brought to you by Slippy Dick's Digital Download Game Repair. Are your digital game download licenses on the fritz? Can't play the games you know you purchased? Slippy Dick can help. Just send your platform login information to Slippy at derpitydingdong and get back on your game in no time. And of course, by Old Glory Insurance. Don't cower under your Afghan any longer. Old Glory Insurance for when the metal ones decide to come for you. And they will. So,
Good. Very nice.
yeah. So that's
How much are our sponsors paying us?
billions.
Shit. We don't even need Patreon.
I know. We're rich. We don't have to do this anymore. We get between
We're just doing it out of love because
Between-
we love video games and metal.
yeah, we're just so passionate, man. We're not, between silly blow meats and baby man diapers and Slippy Dicks and Old Glory Insurance, we've made enough money to retire. Old Glory Insurance, of course, great SNL skit. Look that up.
Now what, host?
Oh,
Where are you taking me?
last week we talked about what you've been listening to, but I didn't mention what I've been listening to, and it's nothing new or really that exciting. I was listening to Unida recently in the car, Coping with the Urban Coyote, John Garcia band. And then as our the folks that introduced the show today, opened up the show, Devilment. I tried listening. They have a couple albums out, I think, but I have the first one. I think I got it at the exchange or something. So, sorry, Devilment, you didn't actually get any of my money. But I tried
You got
listening
it
to.
used. You're saying you got it used.
Yes, yeah, I got it used. And
People don't know what the exchange is.
East Coast folks know. It's a little, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, the listener that does know is gonna be like, I know what he's talking about. Anyway, it's just there's a lot about it that's really good, but then like the guitar tones are just so like that new metal-y crunch sometimes, which can be off-putting to me. And some of the lyrics are just so fucking like cheesy, like they're written
Yeah,
by like
some
some
of them
like
are really bad.
like they're written by like some Hot Topic like teenager, you know.
Yes, some of them are really bad, Danny.
And Danny's one of my favorite lyricists of all time. Like Cradle Filch.
Really?
Cradle Filch shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cradle Filch shit is just like poetry. A lot of it, especially like the earlier stuff, like your Dusk and Her Embraces and your
Your Dusks and your Dons.
and your Cruelty and the Beast and Damnation in a Daze and stuff. Because an entire song's just like a super long fucking just prose, like a poem, and
Yeah.
like especially in the earlier stuff, there's so much of it that's like it's just a wall of lyrics. Like there's not like lines that are being repeated until you like get to the chorus, and it's like it's super impressive to not only that he writes it all and remembers it all, but then you get the Devilment, and it's just like, am I supposed to like think this is funny? Like is this a joke or not? because the one song,
Yeah, no, I
oh,
think he's serious. That's what's weird.
because the one song, yes, Mike came unscrewed. I can't remember all the lyrics, but like the one like chorus part is like, even your blood type rejects me, and it's just like, what?
I think there's
I mean, those worse.
I think
than
there's
that,
way
but-
worse lyrics than that.
I know, but it's just like well, that's just cheesy. I know there's more on there. I listened to like 4 tracks or something. Say, okay, I'm all right. Like,
Yeah. Well, there's some really good songs on there though.
yeah.
Especially
Oh,
like
yeah.
the intro. The intro
Oh.
is like really good.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it opens up really awesomely. It's so that's silly. And then I was listening to Pre-Kel again, Ghost, recently as well, and we probably don't want to get into this. I don't know right now. We can have this whole conversation later, but it is my least favorite Ghost. But it's still really good. I'm not saying like I dislike it or it's bad. It's just my least favorite one. But I've been listening to that.
It's my most favorite Ghost.
I know. So that's why I think we could really break this down and have a good conversation on it. But since I have all this Rocky shit to talk about, we'll save that.
Yeah. So
Um,
that's what you've been listening to. What did I talk about last week?
the
The
worm
worm. I
bands,
know you talked about the worms,
the worm bands. It was
but I couldn't have had that much to say about it. Like I don't. I'm not. I can't really break down music very well.
no,
It's cool. I like it. It's melodic. That's all I can say.
yeah, we didn't get it, a lot into detail about it. Kind of just mentioned that, and then most of what our music was talking about how you got into music, or like how you got into metal,
Oh,
and then I talked about the Heart concert again, like I mentioned at the top of the show, but that was it. So I figured we could spend a little more time in music this time.
all right. Can I
Um,
go? Can I talk about something?
yes.
Are you ready to talk about Rocky?
We could do that last.
Yeah.
I just
So
do it. We
I've
can
been
do it last.
listening.
You go ahead.
I've been listening to the new Slipknot album, and
We did talk about Slipknot a little bit. Actually, yeah, we did talk about Slipknot. But yeah, go on.
did we?
Yeah, a little
God
bit.
damn it. Uh, yeah. So
I think you said you wanted to. We were talking about him, and I think you said that you wanted to listen to the newest one again. So this is relevant. You can give a little update on what
yeah,
you're
let's
talking
do it
about.
a few more times probably at
So
this point.
yeah. So what's the update? What's the verdict on the newest Slipknot?
I think it's really good.
Yeah.
And I liked the last one a lot, but the last one had some, I think, kind of cringeworthy moments.
Sure.
And
I did check
well,
that out at your behest. The
because
last one.
ever since Volume 3, every album has had some cringeworthy moments. Maybe even since Iowa. Maybe ever since the beginning. Who knows? I'd have to
You
go back and listen to that shit. But
You did say Iowa sucks last week too, because I said that was the last one I really listened to. But
Slipknot, I fell in love with in high school, and I actually really liked Corey Taylor's writing, how he wrote, and I still do a lot of the time, unless he's talking about U shapes
you brought that up too last
and
week.
Stone Sour. That's like some of the worst shit I've ever heard.
I'm
But
looking at you
he
through the
still writes.
glass. You don't know how much time has passed.
I still like his writing a lot, and I still feel like I relate to it a lot. So it's like this weird nostalgia for me.
Sure.
But with their last album, and especially with this new album, it's like every song has growling, and most songs have singing, but it's not cringeworthy singing like in some of their older stuff.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of like The Fall of Ideals by All It Remains, where it's like
Oh.
a lot of it's singing and poppy, but you don't mind because it's surrounded by so much heaviness.
Yeah. Okay.
It's still
That
good.
makes sense to me.
Like that's how it makes me feel. So I think like this is their best album maybe since their first album.
Oh
Because I go
wow.
back and I listen to Iowa and like I can. It's so heavy and like it just doesn't make sense. Like it just there's nothing. It's just like noise. I'm sure I talked about this last week.
Yeah, that's what you said about it. On the last one.
Uh, but yeah. So the new Slipknot I think is I know we don't rate music like on a scale, but if I had to, I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 5 or something. Like
Hmm.
I think it's really good. And it's I try to get my friends who used to listen to Slipknot to listen to it, and they just won't. They just refuse because it's Slipknot. But that to me is like kind of shitty. Like you should go into it with an open mind. It's almost like
Sure.
did I talk about some of these heavy metal reviewers on the internet last week?
I don't think so.
They're like some people who review shit on the internet, and they're on a popular YouTube station. I won't say who it is, but they review things, and then they'll talk about bands like Slipknot or Death Heaven, or even the new Skeleton, which they kind of talk shit on,
Ugh.
as it's being like it's like not heavy enough for them.
What?
One of them even said that about Tribulation, like this is not heavy enough. What are we
What?
talking about? Yeah, exactly.
What?
But it's
The new
like
Skeleton, which is heavy as fuck, and
so,
Tribulation.
but like so they reviewed the new Skeleton Witch and they said like, well, if people who aren't in the metal have to get in the metal through something, I'd rather it be the new Skeleton Witch than Death Heaven. That was like one of their comments,
What's wrong with that?
and I
Why?
was like,
What's it even mean?
yeah, I was like, what the fuck are you guys even talking about? Like, and I get what you're trying to say. You're trying to say it's not, quote, real metal. That's kind of what you're saying. It's like pussy metal, but like I don't agree at all.
No.
It's almost like they're saying that this is poser metal. And to me, I feel like you're the poser because you're limiting what metal is in your eyes and what's good metal. If this is heavy, it's not heavy enough to be real metal. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
who the fuck are you to say something like that? Maybe if you're talking about Trivium, sure.
Yeah. Why Death
just to
Heaven
sound like a
though?
just to sound like a jokey hypocrite.
Yeah.
But Death Heaven or even the new
I don't.
Skeleton Witch or something, it's like, what the
I
fuck are you
don't.
talking
I don't.
about?
I don't understand that though. I mean, my. Uh, you got me the latest Death Heaven, and it's great. I mean, I love it. My only complaint was like I think the drums are mixed too loud. But other than that, it's what's wrong with like getting into metal through them? I don't think anyone. I don't think Death Heaven's what's gonna get anyone into metal necessarily over anything else. But I would still.
No, like Death Heaven's
But
pretty heavy.
that comment,
Although it is weird,
but
like,
they're heavy. But this, yeah, that comment that you mentioned that just doesn't make any sense to me.
yeah, I just don't. I mean, like, I get it because he's basically saying it's pussy metal. And the thing is, like, I love the first track of that Death Heaven album. That's like one of my favorite songs of last year. That track one
Mm-hmm.
of is it Ordinary Corrupt Human Love? Corrupt Ordinary Human Love? One of those things.
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
Um, yeah, no, so like I kind of don't get it, but at the same time, like I do have like old college friends who would listen to like Black Dahlia Murder, but they're not metalheads at all. But it's just like I guess
That's weird.
since Black Dahlia Murder dresses up like hipsters and they're a hipster, they like it.
Right.
I'm just assuming that's what it was, which is weird. And I was like, that's a really heavy band. Why would you like that?
Yeah.
It just must be because they went through a hipster phase of dressing and it attracted some people.
Right. Statutory ape. Black Dahlia Murder was one I never really got into, and I think it was because of other people that I knew that listened to it. Like you're saying, like I don't know. Which again isn't fair
Um,
or whatever, but
yeah,
I just used to be like that with things. And I guess I still can be. But
yeah.
um
Anyway, you have some stuff to say about Rocky.
yeah. Do we want to talk about Svalfeg first?
Oh,
Probably not a lot to say, but just um they toured. I wrote an article, Diabolus and Symphonia, which is something I plan on having an ongoing thing where I kind of just blog my concert experiences. And I haven't seen one yet besides Hard, and I'm not going to write about that because it's not heavy metal. But so I'd seen them couple months ago in Pittsburgh, and you just saw them a week and a half, 2 weeks ago,
yeah,
out
it's
in
been
Cali, Cali.
yeah, week and a half. Yeah.
So how was that? Did you have fun?
Well, I got there really early, whenever the first band was setting up. Uh, who I can't remember what they were. Voivod? Or is that the Metallica guy's band? No, it's
Voivod.
Volbeat. Volbeat? I don't know.
Vo-
All these Vol bands, Void bands.
Uh,
Uh,
I know who Volbeat is. I don't know. What do you mean Metallica guy? Like the
no, that's not.
bass player? Does he have
Yeah,
another band?
he's in a band that's called like Voivod or something like that, right?
Voivod's a band. I don't know. I didn't know that he was in it though. I'm not very familiar with Voivod. I just know the
Damn it.
Volbeat sounds like this.
Anyway,
What would
I got there whenever this first band was setting up. I was the only one there. I talked to the barmaid about political correctness because she hates it.
Nice.
And I didn't even start it. She
Hook
was talking about it with
hook
the other barmaid. There's two barmaids,
hook
and
me
they're
up.
talking. One of them has a daughter, and they're talking about how much her daughter like is against fat shaming and all this shit. And so we got into this whole thing of like her daughter was saying um, saying gay and lesbian is like offensive now, and the word queer
Oh my
is
god.
the good word to say. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, don't people realize they're just exchanging syllables? You can't
Yeah.
you can't just take a word back. You can take a word back maybe for a little bit, but anybody can make anything offensive. So it's no use banning words. It's no use saying this is don't say this word because there's always going to be a new word that they put in place of whatever you don't want people to say.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yep.
So anyway, I had a good conversation with
That's cool.
these people, and then let's see, the band started. They were good. Slow Fag came on. Oh, I was riding, taking an Uber to the concert um, with this stripper. She was a stripper.
Ooh,
She asked me where I was going.
hook me up.
I said, I said, I'm going to see a band called Slow Fag, and I was like, maybe I should, maybe I should say the whole thing, like the whole weird Slow Fag, because when I say Slow Fag, maybe she thinks I'm saying Slow Fag,
Yeah.
and people who aren't into metal, or even like the Uber driver, they just think I'm being some kind of asshole.
Right.
Weird name to say. So it's like
Yeah.
Slough for anyone who doesn't know.
I said slow fag too. Um, but then at the concert, I noticed they're pronouncing it slough. It's still just weird to say the slough fag, but fag
Slough.
still
This is Slough Fag.
slough, I guess, is how they pronounce it. But whatever.
All right.
Slough.
Yeah.
Because if you like rough is spelled like that, slough egg.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I saw it on the on Merriam-Webster. There's a couple of ways to pronounce it, and I wasn't sure which one they were going for. But
Yeah.
yeah. So the concert started. It was all really. The whole show was really good. They were really nice. The is it the bass player who was selling merch? Is that the Hanzagoro guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was, yeah, he was selling merch. I talked to him. Well, I didn't really talk to him. I went to buy a shirt and I was like, "Hey, do you guys only take cash?" And he's like, "Yeah." So then I had to go get cash and come back.
I ran into
But he
that
was
too.
like,
That's the same situation I was in.
he's like, but they were about to start, so he was like, "Hey, wait, I'll come back after I play. Sell you some shirts." He sold me some shirts. They were only $15 each. I was like, "That's crazy." I bought one of each. There's only two of them.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I'm jealous of that.
yeah,
Because they only had old ones when they were in Pittsburgh. They had old ones from like a European 2018 tour.
yeah, that's weird.
So I bought one anyway, and I think they were. I think it was still just 15. It might have been 20 though, and all I had was XLs left. But it was a funny shirt, so I bought it, and it'll just be one of those shirts that maybe I'll frame or like hang up or something. But
It should just be your goal to get fat so you can fit in that shirt.
yeah, I will fit this shirt. Um,
Uh,
yeah,
they,
I talked to them too. The guitar player was there too. I'm blanking on his name, but yeah. So I asked the same thing. I was looking at shirts, like, well, I'm gonna get this, and this, and I'll probably get a shirt. I said, you guys have card reader or anything? And they're like, no. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll be right back. Ran to the ATM. But yeah, so I got a shirt. I got the Hands of Goro. I got the new Organon, and then they were just like really, they were really happy, and it was like I say, oh, thanks. I went to walk away, and then he patted me on the back as I was walking away, and I turned around, and they were like smiling, and it was real
were
fun.
they eye fucking you?
Yes, real good experience though. Like I just, you know, I love the support, and I love when
Yeah,
I love
they were so
when they
nice.
love being supported, and they were just so thankful and happy that I was getting the
Yeah,
shit.
I know. I bought the shirts and they're like, "Thanks so much for supporting us and being here." And I was like, "Man, that's so great. So great to hear like really nice band members be so appreciative of everything." Uh,
Did he mention the Metal Elite?
no,
Let's say
I don't think.
he mentioned the Metal Elite a couple times and how those of us in attendance at a Spirit in Pittsburgh were part of the true Metal Elite because there were probably like 30 people there. It wasn't very crowded, but
Oh, I don't remember that. Yeah, well, I mean, this bar was pretty full, and it's probably I don't know, 70 people,
they're
80.
based in I want to say San Fran or something too, so they probably do have more of a following out the West Coast. And even though he's originally, well, Mike at
They
least
started
the
in
main
PA,
guy,
right?
yeah, and he even mentioned that too during the concert that he's not far from where he grew up, and this is the closest he's ever played to home. But he didn't specify where that was. But
Huh. Yeah. Anyway, the concert was good. There was a weird moment where he was supposed to do a duet with the singer for Sanhedrin, the band that played before
oh
them,
yeah,
Sanhedrin,
uh huh,
and she just never showed up. And he's like,
oh
"Hey." but they started playing the music, so he's just like, "Hey, is my singer here?" And he's like looking for her. And he's like, "Sorry guys, I was supposed to sing a song with the singer for Sanhedrin, but don't know where she's at." So he just sang the whole thing himself. She was outside after the concert, so who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? They were good too. I thought
Yeah,
I
they were really good.
I didn't have the money to get something off them, though I wanted to. I figure I'll order a CD at some point. But Icarus Witch opened up for those two bands here, and they were local Pittsburgh people, and they were good too. So I wanted to support them. So I bought an Icarus Witch CD, and then between that and the Slough stuff I got, I didn't have enough money to support Sanhedrin. But I thought they were good from what I heard. I'd never heard from them before. Brooklyn based. I did look that up.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know what song it
Um,
was. It might have been. I think it's one of the one slower one from New Organon, and I don't know the titles here, but because he he did like a wardrobe change, and he was kind of just like he wasn't playing guitar for that song, and he was kind of just like sitting there and like, just singing into the mic. And it was kind of like clubby, that's the way he was acting, just like singing by himself and like sitting around. He was putting his hat on people's heads, and it was just
yeah,
it was real
yeah.
fun and cool and like intimate. It was a really great time. My only
Uh,
thing would have been I would have liked to hear something from Digital Resistance, the newest album before New Organon, but a very small complaint.
um, yeah, they played a lot of really good stuff. I was happy with the set. Sorry, I'm trying to find that band that played first, so I could give them some kind of a shout out, but
Okay.
I am having trouble.
While you do that, the one of the songs uh, in on Digital Resistance, when he talks about the X-rated beam in his hand and when it's shining through you,
I'm not sure.
uh, or no, well that's yeah, and when it's pointed at you, you'll change what you want to know when. But I hope it's somehow an Orgasmo reference. I really, really, really hope, because what else would an X-rated beam in your hand be? I really hope he's somehow referencing Orgasmo, because
Yeah, that would be
that
awesome.
would be amazing.
Oh, I found it.
Nice.
They're called Void Vader.
Void Vader.
Void Vader opened up, and they're almost like
I don't think I've ever
kind
heard of
of
them
like
then.
Black Tide. Like
Oh, okay.
whenever Black Tide released their first album, they were all like 14 years old. Whenever it was kind of hard
Oh,
rocky and
yeah.
thrashy,
Right.
it's like that. Not their post that where they became like pretty boys who played, I don't know, metal for chicks.
Right. I forgot about Black Tide.
Yeah, so I mean, they're good. They're good. Um, so yeah. Anyway, I've been to a lot of concerts in my time in LA. I've been here for about 5 years, but I've never seen anybody play an encore. It's like as soon as the concert's over, people just leave.
Yeah.
No one gives a fuck. No one waits. I guess people have shit to do in LA. I don't know. But like in Pennsylvania, I remember there's like almost always an encore,
Yeah.
from what I remember.
Slavek for me was
It's
one
like,
one of the ones that didn't, and they did for you, which is interesting.
and I think one of my first concerts here was like open, and whenever as soon as they played the last song, everyone just turned around and left. I was like, that's really
What?
weird. What
Yeah.
the fuck just happened? Nobody stayed for open. And then I just got then I kept going to concerts, and it just kept happening. And I was like, I guess just LA doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
But so slow fag. Am I pronouncing it right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is it slow? Slough
Slough.
fag.
I guess it's Slough, but I mean, whatever. They get it.
Uh,
We
so
well, we
yeah,
called it
slow
slow
fag
for
was the
years.
first
So.
time. Slow fag was the first time I saw an encore, and I was like, this is crazy.
Wow.
Everyone stood, everyone waited. So I was like, well, these people are like real fans. Like they're dedicated to this band
Right.
because I've never seen that here.
Yeah. It's. I mean, like I said, uh, the bar we saw wasn't super full, but I mean, people did stand there, and a couple people were like yelling like one more song and shit. But they, I Man, they just didn't do it. He did ask for requests for us though. I guess because it was a smaller, more intimate thing. Whereas he said he didn't ask for
Yeah.
any requests for you guys. And then someone, of course,
No, I
they
didn't.
yelled, it was either Asteroid Belts or Final Gambit. Or Final Gambit, I think, was what the person yelled. So then they played another Traveler song, which to me, Traveler, great album, but it's that same idea where it's like, well, of course that's the one that everyone knows, you know. You kind
Is
of,
it like what? Why is that?
I
Why
don't,
is that one the of course one? That
I,
happens to be my favorite, but
that's the one that got me
because
into
that's
them
one of the
too.
first ones I heard, I
And
think.
it's well, and it's also like the only album that's like, well, not the only album, but it's their first one that's like produced that well too. And I think that's just the one that was the most promoted, the most produced. Which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, um, like we're such a small crowd in Pittsburgh. Like it would almost be cool if someone requested something a little more obscure than Traveler. I guess would be my point. Not that there's a problem with that again, but which is why I yelled the Hammer's Misfortune song, and he chuckled, and so that's fine. But like how many other people there knew? Well, probably most of them, I guess, because if you're there, then you're in pretty much.
Yeah,
But I was gonna
you're
say,
in.
but I was
Yeah,
gonna say like how many people also know Hammer's Misfortune and stuff like that. But yeah,
yeah. So to continue that story, so I bought those two shirts at the concert, and the next night I went out with our cousin Matt, who was visiting here,
Matt,
or
you,
he was on his way back to PA,
Matty McFatsacks.
but he wanted to go to some like indie concert, and I was like, okay, I'll go because I don't see you very often. And I wore one of the Slough Fag shirts, and so I'm there, and some like older dude comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, nice shirt. Like, why are you wearing that? Why are you here?" I was like, "Oh, I'm wearing it because I love Slough Fag, and they were just played here last night, and I saw them, and I just got this shirt, and I'm here. I'm just here with my cousin, and we're talking about music, and I go, "Hey, do you know Hammers of Misfortune?" And he goes, "I'm in Hammers of Misfortune." And I was like,
Oh,
"What the fuck is going
what?
on?"
Wow.
It
I
was
know you met him
crazy.
because he sent me the picture, but you hadn't told me the actual story yet. So, holy
Yeah.
shit!
And I was just like,
Oh,
"What the
that's
fuck is
awesome.
this?" So then we talked about music for like an hour and a half or something. He became my new best friend for a little bit, and he was there with one of his friends, and he was like some kind of like tall, nerdy looking dude who was being kind of broody and sitting in the corner.
Uh huh.
But eventually he came over, and I was talking to him, and then we were talking about Slough-Feg, and I was like, actually, I heard of Slough-Feg through a video game called Brutal Legend. And then his friend goes, I worked on Brutal Legend.
Wow.
And I go, what the fuck is
What
going
the
on?
fuck?
And I
Pinch
had even
me.
ate a little
I'm
bit of
dreaming.
mushroom that night, so it was making everything even like crazier. But this is all real. This
Yeah.
is all real.
Right. It seems like whenever you're on shit like that, just crazy shit that shouldn't happen does happen, and then it's like twice as unbelievable because you're also tripping balls.
No,
Which,
but I wasn't tripping. It was like we had like a bare minimum. Like it was just like
oh yeah, I know,
a
but
slight high.
right.
So
But still,
I
it
wasn't out of
seems
my
like
mind
that
at all.
makes
Like
weird shit
this is all
happen.
real.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, but it's just like from my own experiences too, like weird, just unbelievable shit, which might be like just crazy shit anyway, seems to happen when you're also tripping balls. I don't know, but yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I hung out with this dude
it's
for a little bit, and
fantastic.
uh, so the whole experience, that whole weekend, it ended up being really cool. Um, and I think that's all I got to say about
That's great.
Slow Fag.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Great concert. Very, very glad to finally see them. I used to play them on IUP radio a lot, and I've been a fan for a long time. So, one last thing I will say was, um, he walked in front of Eric and I when we were sitting at the bar, cousin Eric and and I just instinctively kind of just yelled, Mike! And then he turned around and looked at me, and I just like stuck my hand out and shook his hand, and I didn't say anything, and he just looked at me for a second, and then just turned and walked away. like, like, he probably just thought it was really weird, but it's like, I should have said, oh, big fan, nice to see you, but I just didn't say anything. I just shook his hand and looked at him, and then he,
I don't I don't know if he thinks anything is weird.
Yeah,
He writes about
probably not. I
beaten
mean,
biped canines.
I,
So
I said I said what I wanted to say just with my handshake and my eyes, so I think it was fine.
yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
think he probably totally gets it. I
I
think
just wanted to shake his hand.
he probably appreciates that.
Yeah. I don't want to bug him. I just want to say hi real quick.
Right.
But it was, in retrospect, probably slightly awkward. But yeah, again, he probably didn't care. All right. So one last thing we'll mention, then I'll do my Rocky Erickson spotlight, and then we'll close this thing out. Mr. Bungle just earlier this week, Mike Patton and everyone announced that they're getting back together. The three main guys, Mike, guitar player Trey Spruance, and the bass player Trevor Dunn. They're pairing up with Dave Lombardo on drums, who of course plays with Mike in Dead Cross, whom we saw, and that's a fun story for a time. I referenced it on my favorite albums article.
Oh yeah.
Check that out if you're interested.
Yeah, it's a good story.
Ragdollfarcists.com. But so he's with them, and then also they have Scott Ian from Anthrax also playing guitar, and so they announced. Let me bring up the picture here. There's 2 California dates, and then 1 New York date. Tickets go on sale Friday. I'm gonna be up. I'm gonna be there.
Wait, is that it? I thought there was like 6 dates announced. Was it just 3?
No, only in 3 cities. That flyer you sent me.
Uh-huh.
Friday, February 7th at the Fonda Theater in LA. Saturday, February 8th at Warfield Theater in San Fran. And Monday, February 10th at Brooklyn Steel in NYC. So then they're playing The Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny in full, which was their demo that they recorded before, like when they were kids. From what I read, they were like 16 and 17 years old. And I never really listened to it. I love Mr. Bungle, like the proper albums, but I never listened to like the demos or like the EPs or weird shit. And quality-wise, you can definitely tell it's just like a shitty, home recording kind of thing going on. But
Yeah, I listened to like the first 8 minutes of it last night.
but it's real like deathy and thrashy, and it doesn't have like the weird kooky circusy shit going on and all the weird like horns and weirdness going on as the actual later stuff. But one thing that I noticed listening to it was Mike sounds a lot like Chuck Schuldiner from Death to me. Like he's singing.
Really?
Yeah, he's kind of singing it that way. Yeah, like I don't know. It's just he just sounds deathy to me, and that's really cool. So I'm curious if he'll actually sing it that way, because you don't hear Mike sing like just traditional deathy vocals that often, if ever. He growls that one word and the real thing, and then he makes Tasmanian devil noises and
Some other songs.
some other songs. But yeah, so it was really cool to hear him that way. So anyway, I was a little late to the Mr. Bungle train, but I'm on it hard now, and I definitely have to see one.
I've still never jumped on the train.
Um,
Like I've just never sat down and listened to a full album at all.
oh my god, yeah, they're so good. The first one, I think it is just Mr. Bungle. I don't think it has a title, but maybe it does. But he still sings in that nasally like real thing voice, but the music's just like it's really awesome. There's heavy parts, there's kooky parts. It's just really fucking weird and unique and original and really cool. But then California, he's more into like the third album. The second album is really fucking weird, and I've never been able to digest it. I can't remember what it's called either. But the third one, California, the last one they did, has a bunch of just amazing songs on it. And then he's more into the more modern Mike Patton, where he's not doing the nasally thing anymore, and he's kind of just doing this shit, and
Yeah.
but it's really, really, really fucking good. So anyway, I was talking. I messaged Capoe's dog and Matthew about the New York thing, and Tony's in, but Matt never said anything. So if I don't get a straight answer from them by Friday, I'm gonna try to order the tickets as soon as possible, because I wouldn't be surprised if they sell out, especially in California. But then I'm gonna fly out there and see them with you. But I'll have to let you know for sure about that.
All right. Do you know how much the tickets are?
No, I didn't see anywhere where that's listed. I guess we'll have to find out when they actually come up on sale on Friday. I would assume anywhere from like 30 to 60. I would assume probably like 45.
What's the venue? Did you say it?
In LA, it is Fonda Theater, Friday, February 7th.
All right. I was just there. Oh, I went there to see Scars on Broadway.
Oh yeah,
So
cool. Good for you.
yeah, ticket prices are probably like around 30, 35.
Yeah, I would think they would start there. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like in the 40s, but I would say no less than 30, no more than 60.
There you
Um,
go.
uh, yeah, I'm sure we'll give an update on that or talk about that in the future. All right, so we'll close the show out then with my Rocky Erickson spotlight. But first, I'm gonna go pee.
Oh boy.
First one,
You think-
the only pee of the
you
show.
think-
I had to go like 2 or 3
All
times the
right.
other one. So, I'll be right back.
All right, go ahead. Okay.
I'll make the Rocky thing quick. Oh, it smells like doobie. Okay, you there? Or are you peeing too?
No, I'm here.
Okay. Well, oop, it must be the night of the vampire tonight. He never sleeps in the night. Comes out when the moon is bright. One thing about
Fruit?
it's a Rocky Erickson lyric. One thing I enjoy about small town PA living is peeing outside, and it's a full moon, all right. So I figured that I figured that would be a good good way to introduce this part. Um, all right, let me flip here. Find my notes if I've got them. Oh, I think they're still on
You
the.
got him.
I think they're still on the printer.
Your Rocky notes. Oh boy.
Found them. All right. So, like I said, we'll do this quick spotlight and we'll wrap it up. So, Rocky Erickson, and yes, if you like the kind of music that we listen to, then you'll know what this means. Yes, Ghost brought me here, as people comment on the YouTubes. Unfortunately, Rocky died May 31st, 2019, shortly after like the height of my fandom. I bought the Evil One on vinyl and CD. Unfortunately, the US version lacks Click Your Fingers Applauding the Play, Sputnik, and If You Have Ghosts. And of course, If You Have Ghosts was the If You Have Ghost EP by Ghost. That's the main cover on there.
Yeah.
They play it pretty much every
I
show. So yes,
I
that's
can't believe that was a cover. When I first heard that, I had no idea. I thought that was just like their song. And I was
mm-hmm.
like, man, this song is so perfect for them. And
Yeah.
when I heard it was a cover, I was like, I can't believe that.
Yeah, so like I said, yeah, Ghost brought me here. That's why, and even after, oh, by the way, that crack you heard earlier, Terrapin Jazz Cabbage Hemp IPA is what we're trying today. That's your beer of the week. But anyway, the first time I checked out Rocky, the original version of If You Have Ghosts, I was just like, oh, this is weird. Whatever. I just never thought anything of it. I was like, yeah, I don't know, it's just weird. So, and for some reason, a couple years later, then like more, recently, I went back, started checking it out, got real into it like last year. So I get and listening to more of the Evil One. So it's Rocky Erickson and the Aliens, the
So
Evil
what
One.
changed your mind about it?
Well, so I went back. I just put it on at work. I was like, well, I'm gonna give it another shot, and so I listened to the Rocky version a couple times, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then so I started listening to the album in its entirety. It's like, holy shit, like this is fucking nuts. Like it's like Rocky, not Rocky Erickson, but like it's like rock and rolly, but he's not. He's like yelling about like Satan and Lucifer and like all these like haunting things, but he's just like singing like a normal dude, and the music isn't. It's heavy, but it's not like metal heavy, and so
Right.
so that was just like, wow, like this is amazing. Like this is so weird and cool and different, and it's like he's singing about black metal things, and it's not black metal, and that to me was what originally got me like super interested, and then I just kept listening, and it's like, holy shit, this is cool. So
Yeah, it's
that
definitely weird. It's definitely, it definitely reminds me of Wesley Willis.
Yes, and so that was the next thing I was going to say. Once I started looking into who Rocky is, uh, just like Wesley, he's got schizophrenia. He developed extreme psychosis, and just like Wesley Willis's Hell Rides, and the demons making him say swear words and shit. Uh, like you start looking at Rocky's lyrics, and it's like, holy shit, this guy he was troubled. Like he was like fucking just seeing demons, and then like you look at interviews and stuff, and he claimed to be like an alien from Mars. He claimed like he was like in league with like Satan and shit. Like when his psychosis was developing and wasn't being treated at all, and people would interview him, and he would just say like crazy shit like that. But like our Hellblade discussion, that stuff is just super interesting to me, like psychosis and whereas Wesley's music is usually more silly, Rocky's expression of his psychosis is way more dark and kind of like troublesome, and that to me is way more like genuinely like heavy metal than just some normal dude. Like it carries more weight to me than just some dude praising Satan just because it's cool, which is fucking cool. But, but you know what I mean? So it's like he's like oh, this guy's a real deal. Like, so real quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm drinking the Jazz Cabbage. It's pretty good. I think Sweetwater's G13 Doobie 420 Doobie Ale is better, but this is still really good. This smells more doobie than it tastes. Hemp IPA, but really good. Terrapin Jazz Cabbage, Jizz Cabbage, Muff Cabbage. Anyway,
Muff Cabbage.
So some history and background. Quick mention. There's a documentary about Rocky, and it's called "You're Gonna Miss Me." It's free on YouTube in its entirety. Once I started getting into him and building a fascination with him, I watched it. Highly recommend it. Very good. But anyway, he was born Roger Keenard Erickson on July 15th, 1947 in Dallas, Texas. From what I read, his mother got him into piano at age 4 or 5, and he began playing guitar around 10. Refusing to cut his hair, Rocky dropped out of high school weeks before graduating in 1965 from Travis High School in Austin. Because I guess the dress code and to be able to walk and graduate, you had to have your hair a certain way, and he said fuck that because he's the fucking man. So he co-founded psychedelic rock pioneers the 13th Floor Elevators in 1965 with Tommy Hall, and Tommy Hall would blow in a jug, and that was weird, and they really loved acid. Lots of acid. So the psychedelic sounds of the 13th Floor Elevators, released in 1966, arguably Rocky's most popular work, the album's only charting single, and the title of the 2005 documentary, You're Gonna Miss Me. And he does his like trademark like banshee wail on it and stuff. So
he's a trademark banshee wail.
Yeah, in that song he was famous for like, oh yeah, like he would just yell in a certain way, and
Okay.
so it's not like banshee wail, but
So did he know what he was writing, and did he perform live?
yes.
Was he able to do that?
Yeah, for a number of years, and it got to the point where it was so bad, and he wasn't taking medication and shit, where he quit playing music for many, many, many years, and that's part of the documentary. Is his younger brother Sumter Erickson fought for, I think I have more notes that go a little bit more into that later maybe, but his mother, I guess, was basically enabling him. She believed that they could pray it away, and so he wasn't taking medication for it, and he just got really bad. Like he quit taking care of himself, and he would just like, in the documentary shows that like he would go home like years after he was done playing music. He would just turn on a bunch of TVs and like radios, and it would just be a bunch of fucking noise, and he would just turn it on all over the place and just sit there. And I guess he would do that to just drown out the voices in his head. So he was in real rough shape for a while, and he started developing this abscess in his mouth because he wasn't brushing his teeth, and his teeth were rotting. And the abscess got so big that it was like threatening to like rupture like in his brain and like kill him. So his younger brother had to take their mother to court for custody, and then he started getting Rocky help. And then in recent years, Rocky was playing again, and I think they weaned off the medication at some point, but but he was playing again for a while. But anyway, so he was very out of it for a while. He knew what he was writing, because he would acknowledge like, oh, I want to shock people, I want to scare people, I like writing about scary stuff. But then he did apparently think he was an alien too, and all this weird shit. So he was just
Yeah.
But anyway,
Kind of gone.
yeah, all totally gone after a while. So and then all of the copious amounts of acid on top of that didn't help anything. Tommy Hall in this band, anytime that they would play live, he would make all the members like take acid or at least encourage them to. And there was I think it was the drummer. He'd be like, yeah, oh, okay, and then he would like take half, like he would only take a little bit, and then just tell him that he took it all. So they were like really pushing psychedelic shit. They were the first band to use the term psychedelic to describe their music, so that's cool. So during a set at the 1968 World's Fair in San Antonio, Rocky began speaking gibberish. His mom at one point in a documentary said she had woken up at one night to him just shouting nonsense in the yard and just babbling and yelling weird shit. The elevators...
Talking to the aliens?
Probably the aliens and the demons. The elevators were very outspoken about their love of drugs like acid and doobie, and they encouraged others to partake. And as such, authorities in Texas had it out for them. So when police were able to catch Rocky with a joint on him in 1969, he was arrested and charged and hospitalized, receiving a diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia and treated with forced electroshock therapy. Rocky attempted several escapes, but would be recaptured, resulting in receiving a prison sentence that he and his representation...
Oh my God.
I think he had some kind of representation. Maybe not. Maybe it's just his family. But either way, because later there was some detail about how they had to raise money for a lawyer. So I don't know if he had a lawyer at this point or not. But anyway, they decided to plead insanity to avoid jail, because he was going to be charged for like escaping all the time. So he pleads insanity, and Rocky is sent to a maximum security nitwit farm, Rusk State Hospital in Texas, where he was subjected to 3 years of electroshock and Thorazine treatments. Thorazine is an antipsychotic drug. It's still used today. It's got various side effects, whatever. Doesn't matter. So while he was in Rusk, Rocky he would write poetry, and he even formed a band with fellow patients and inmates. All of the people that he was playing with were like actual convicted killers or rapists of some form, or murderer rapists. But just a little neat detail, just people that would play music with him while he was stuck inside, because that's just what he did.
That's all he had.
He just played music, yeah. So the Erickson family was able to raise money for a lawyer who petitioned for Rocky's release, which was granted in 1972, and they raised money by he snuck out some of the poetry he wrote on the inside and the lyrics, and they put it together in a book and sold that, I guess. And from what I read through that, they were able to raise money for the lawyer. So this lawyer petitions for his release, but the damage was done from Rocky's traumatic experience in Rusk. Coupled with his mental illness, his lyrics became notably horror-laden, such as in Creature with the Atom Brain and I Walked with a Zombie, and they often reflected his psychosis, such as I Think of Demons, Don't Shake Me, Lucifer, White Faces, Bloody Hammer, and many more. These songs were released on 1981's The Evil One by Rocky Erickson and the Aliens, as I mentioned earlier, featuring and this featured a notably heavier sound than what he had previously done. Rocky's story continues from here, of course, but I think I've covered what's important for understanding his music, as well as for me to express why I love it so much. I again would strongly suggest watching You're Gonna Miss Me on YouTube. The whole story's on there. So yes, again, Ghost's cover of If You Have Ghosts on the If You Have Ghosts EP is what introduced me to Rocky, but it wasn't for a couple years I actually got into it. Okay, I said all this, and boy did I get into it. And then I have a little note here. A quick aside, I first heard of Ghost and the Devil's Blood because I saw they were playing at Mr. Small's in Pittsburgh. I think it was 2011 or 12. I was in college. I was working in our aunt's office as a student worker when I was just scrolling through, because I would always go through and look for shows. But anyway, that prompted me to look up both Ghost and the Devil's Blood on YouTube. And my life's never been the same, of course. My biggest concert...
That was the first time you listened to both?
Yeah, that's how I figured that. That's how I discovered them. But I didn't. Oh, here I'll just I'll just say what I have written here, I guess. My biggest concert regret to date is not seeing that show, because that would have been my only chance to see the Devil's Blood. And what a fucking show that would have been. I've written, but anyway, I realized more recently that because I checked them out and I was like, oh, this is really good shit. Like I think I like this, but I didn't like it enough to run off to the concert, because the concert was like, oh, this weekend. So I was still like checking out the bands and realizing that I cared and then the concert had come and gone, so I missed it. And that's my biggest fucking concert regret for sure. But
Yeah.
and then of course Devil's Blood is no more because Selim, the main songwriter, killed himself. So they're done. His sister, I tried ordering merch off their site years ago, and I just never heard anything back from it. So I don't know what happened there, but I never got the
Did you
merch.
spend money?
Well, I didn't get charged. I placed an order, but
Oh,
it just never went through, and I never got anything, and I never got any emails or anything. So whatever, I don't know. Anyway, I have a note here that the Devil's Blood covered Rocky's White Faces on their debut EP, which was years prior to Ghost's cover, and I put coincidence because they played together. They toured together for a little bit. Just, I'm sure,
Right.
whatever, even if it is, just joking around, I guess, doesn't matter. But anyway, what first began attracting me to Rocky was all the talk of Lucifer and the demons, set to the music that wasn't quite heavy metal. Again, I guess I already said this. It was sung by a unique voice with a sincerity behind it. No growling or any kind of gimmick. It was just a guy singing about crazy shit to some really excellent music. So yeah, I basically said that stuff. Rocky's lyrics, I'm most familiar with The Evil One and the one album after that, Don't Slander Me. The lyrics don't always make sense, understandably, but to me there's a beauty to that. And of course, schizophrenia isn't cool, but it's clear that Rocky was very troubled by voices and haunted by demons, and he wouldn't wish that upon anyone. But it's safe to say these songs wouldn't be so undeniably awesome without
Right.
his psychosis.
He made some unique stuff because of it.
Mm-hmm. Real
That
beautiful shit, I think.
we get to appreciate it, even though it was horrible for him.
Right. I'm almost through this here. Also because of that, I'm super into reading lyrics and deciphering lyrics and just interpreting things and figuring shit out. So another thing that makes his lyrics that serves that idea so well is because a lot of them are so nonsense. But the more you read them, you can kind of the more you begin to like read and reread and understand what he's saying, like you can find like a narrative. You can find something
Decoding it.
like it does make sense, but it doesn't, and I think that's really beautiful. And I've written what sounds nonsensical might begin to make sense the more you listen and re-listen. The song Sputnik is off the wall, and like for a while I didn't know what the hell, but there's a consistent theme of like creationism of like the universe and of Earth once you like look into it, and so it kind of does make sense. And then Bloody Hammer is also just totally fucking insane, and I love that. But when I read somewhere that Rocky wrote it after someone had told him about and again, I can't remember where I heard this, but someone told him that they had heard about some kind of murderous attack that happened on a college campus that involved a hammer. And so I guess that story blended with his hallucinating demons, and then there you have Bloody Hammer.
There's a band called Bloody Hammers too, right?
Yes, I assume that's a reference to him. It might not be. I never looked into it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were referencing Rocky and this song. But that song's nuts. He's talking about like a baby ghost and whipping it with a chain and stuff, and it's just like, and how he doesn't have the bloody hammer. He's like, I don't have it. I don't have your bloody hammer. Like, leave me alone, demon. And
It's nuts.
I know. Baby ghost from the 1900s says, "Drag your spoon away." It's so fucking cool. It's so fucking cool. But so anyway, to conclude, Rocky is amazing, and I am indeed going to miss him, like the song says. I recommend highly starting with The Evil One and branching out from there. Don't Slander Me is less dark overall, excluding Burn the Flames, which is very horror-y. More on that in a second. But it's a little rockier. It's closer in tone to the early stuff. It's not as dark. And he does his signature Banshee wail from The Elevators' You're Gonna Miss Me on the title track, Don't Slander Me, which I'm sure someone in the studio probably had him do to try to commercialize this in some way and, lean on something that he was actually known for to try to, maybe, who knows. Because I guess he was
Right.
he's obviously notably, like, hard to work with in the studio, too, and, like, hard to, like, keep him on track and keep,
Oh yeah,
you
I
know.
can imagine.
But, yeah, so Burn the Flames, I mentioned the Silly Bloody Hammers lyrics, but then in Burn the Flames, these are really cool though too. I think this song, but here I sit, a skeleton at my organ, the candles in my candelabra burn hellishly, hellish hell, and the laughter unending echoes through the haunted house. A little Christmas spirit, ghostly haunting, deadly spirit. Every creature is stirring, even the mouse. And it's like mixing Halloween and Christmas, which is really fucking cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's pretty awesome.
Here I sit at my instruments. Here they sit at their instruments. And the music fills and fills, terrifies, horrifies, forever scares. The children of the night, what music we make. It's like, oh, that's so fucking cool.
Turn Up the Night,
He just,
Tribulations album.
yeah. Um,
Everyone loves
but that
Rocky.
poetically refers to, well, the children of the night are wolves. Because I found out it's like a poetic thing for wolves. I think it's taken from
Yeah.
something. Because there's that one, like, on Vampire, Cradle of Filth. The song starts off like, the children of the night, what sweet music they, and then it squeals. So that's from some, like, older poem, the children of the night, what music they make. So he says, what music we make, because
All right.
he's sitting alone playing instruments with all the ghosts and demons in his head. Like, the song's about, like, all, like, he's playing with all these creatures, like, around him, but really it's just him. But so that's just really cool.
Yeah, it's really good.
So sometimes it's hard to make out what he says. I've seen different lyrics for the same tracks across different sites and on YouTube comments, because sometimes he doesn't sing very clearly either. And but again, that kind of adds to the way that it can be interpreted. Like, it keeps it open, Like, one word, if you hear it one way or the other, can just change shit. And I love that kind of thing as far as just interpreting lyrics. And there was a follow-up.
Yeah.
The collection that his family had sold of poetry to raise money. There was a follow-up to that called it was called Openers. And Openers 2 is an actual collection of his lyrics taken from, like, his actual notes and stuff. And I'd love to have it, but the last I looked on Amazon, I think you can get, like, a used one, but they started at like $60 to $80 or something,
Uh,
because it's so rare. But I would love to have that someday, and maybe someday
yeah.
I'll buy it. We'll see. But
It doesn't seem like so much for how rare is it?
pretty rare, I think. I'm sure that not that many were printed, and I'm sure they never did reprints or anything. It's probably just that one publishing cycle,
That might be worth it.
So because again, like, you can't find, like, the same just set of lyrics for, like, most songs. So I feel like that would be the best answer you can get for, like, what the lyrics actually are would be in this book. But so I'll probably buy it someday. But I will conclude this Rocky Erickson spotlight with a quote from ZZ Top's Billy Gibbons. He says, Rocky came to mean many things to many admirers and will continue to resonate with a legacy of remarkable style, talent, and poetic and artistic tales from beyond. It's almost unfathomable to contemplate a world without Rocky Erickson. He created his own musical galaxy and early on was a true inspiration. Even now, Rocky is the source of creative energy of the first order. It's really a circumstance where he continues to provide the requisite reverberation. And that's in, like, a single quote, who knows. Something he predicted when he sang You're Gonna Miss Me. We certainly do know now that he's at one with the universe. So that was ZZ Top's Billy Gibbons, who has also always cited him as an influence, I guess. So rest in peace, Rocky.
Rest in peace, Rocky.
And so that's it. That's my Rocky spotlight. Again, You're Gonna Miss Me on YouTube. Check it out if any of this interests you. And it's really cool. I really regret that I didn't get to see him Because even though he's been playing again, he usually just would play around Texas where he lived, and so it wasn't really. Another cool detail too from the documentary is his brother, and like the last part of the documentary, he lived in Pittsburgh, and so when he gets so like there are shots where you can see like the city skyline and stuff,
Oh yeah.
and that's where Rocky was living for a long time was whenever his brother got custody of him. So that was also very neat. His brother played in the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra, I guess, for a number of years.
Whoa.
So cool stuff. But yeah, so that's that.
That's cool. Speaking of buying rare things on eBay, uh, I was looking into the World of Warcraft collector's editions. Do you still have my World of Warcraft collector's edition sitting around?
They're still in the same place. I never touched them. They're in that uh, top like cabinet of the computer desk.
Do you think I should sell them?
Probably. I mean, if you want, I mean, they'll probably only go up in value. I'm sure, right?
I don't know. I mean, I saw somebody selling a brand new one for like $7,000.
What? Holy shit!
Yeah, but used ones for who knows, like between two and 500
Yeah, they're all up there
for just for the
through.
first one,
What's
the
the
original.
what's the Wrath of the Lich King? I think is the last one you have up there.
Yeah, and then what's the green one? Is that the Burning Crusade?
Yes, that was the second one. So you at least have those
Yeah,
three.
I think I get something like $1,000 plus like some high level characters and shit.
That to reference Reno. What Reno Jackson is that his name? Or no, the other one, Harrison Jones. That belongs
Uh,
in a museum, which is obviously referencing obviously Indiana Jones, But so yeah, I would say either sell them or they have all those like video game museums now. If you wanted to be a philanthropist,
I mean, donate that shit? No way.
yeah, fuck that. Yeah, there's plenty of other people to do that. You got to make money.
Uh, I'm thinking of getting back into Warcraft. You interested?
Yes, absolutely. Oh my god.
You don't have a good PC though.
No, but I would get one. I would buy
I
one.
would love to pay.
Well,
I would love to pay $1,000 to spend $15 a month.
okay, so I did confirm this. I looked it up. You can play vanilla Warcraft with the original graphics or the new reskin stuff. So, so,
Right.
so even if I got my old desktop up and running again, I could at least play it just fine with the old graphics because I used to play it all the time on that same computer. So actually,
So is it
I could
vanilla?
I could
Is
play
it?
the reskin graphics on there too because I did get a 1 month trial one time and like make a night elf and I played with the new graphics, so I could do that.
Is it vanilla Warcraft with all of the expansions?
No, it's just the core game. No Burning Crusade or anything. So it's everything up to that.
Really?
It's level 6
Why?
because that's what people want. It's
Why do they want that?
because that's what all the people like us remember the most and have the most nostalgia for and want to go back to. I don't
But why would we want to go back to like
Burning Crusade
negative all of the expansions
ruined a bunch of shit
and then play and
because
grind the way up?
the core game is the coolest. Burning Crusade, I remember like I was pissed because like the very first mission you do in the Burning Crusade is like they start giving you these green uncommon items that just replace your
Yeah,
your molten core gear and that you
I
worked
remember
so hard
that.
for, and it's bullshit. I don't need to play the Burning Crusade again. I just want to get to level 60. I want to see how much I remember because I was a fucking awesome group leader doing all the level 50 to 60 instances to get my Beast Stalkers set. I knew like every fucking instance like Stratholme and the other ones, Scolamence and Blackwing Lair and all that shit. Blackwing Depths it was. 'Cause Blackwing Lair was the 40-man raid after Molten Core. But I just want to do all that shit again. That's all I need. I don't need to do any of the expansions. Oh,
It's just like, and then what do? You just play the vanilla up
and
to the
then you quit again.
the raids, and then you're just done.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it would be like it's vanilla Warcraft, but it's all of the game that's out, all of the expansions. So it
Then
keeps
you just
the
play the regular one.
no, because like they changed all of the skill trees and adding your own skill points, right?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
thought maybe it would just kind of like, I just thought maybe they would like update it so the weapons didn't become outdated. The greens wouldn't outdate the molten core shit or whatever, and somehow you can still play through everything, but enjoy it in more of the vanilla form. But I guess you're saying no.
From what I understand, it's just straight up everything up the original game up through level 60. Everything up to before Burning Crusade, which is all I want anyway. Like I said, that sounds amazing to me. And then
So
like,
people,
but like we
can
said,
you?
hmm,
So what about? Do you have to start a brand new character from level 0 or 1?
I would assume so. And
You can't like take your original character that you already played through the original before they made you go into the Burning Crusade. You had to just do it all over again.
oh yeah, I doubt it. I'm sure everyone's, that's the beauty of it though. Everyone would be starting over, and so like PvP. Imagine PvP then, like you're starting fresh, and you actually get to have just real world PvP experiences with people that are your level, and not just people that are just gonna log on to their level 80 alts and just come and kill you and camp you then or whatever. I,
No, people were hitting level 80 and or it's just 60, right? There's the max
oh,
60 in the first.
people will hit it. Yeah, people will hit it within a week, I'm sure. So that'll still
So
happen.
people hit it 2 days.
But
People are
still,
nuts.
but you know, uh, it sounds amazing to me. But like we were saying though, you go back in for the nostalgia, but we'll be playing it as people that are over 10 years older than we were when we were from before. I was in like what, eighth, ninth grade, I think, when I was really into this before. So by the time I jump back into this and play for a few hours, we'll probably just be like, I'm bored. I don't care to do this. I've too many adult life
That's what I
responsibilities.
mean.
I don't have time for this. I don't care. But the raw
That's
idea
what I
of
mean. Like,
going
do
back and
people
playing
really
this,
want this? I think people think they want it, but they don't really want it.
right? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm sure I would get bored if you. I'd probably get to like level 15 and be like, yeah, I got other stuff I could do. I can't do this anymore. um,
Yeah, I mean,
I do really, really, really want to relive that though. But would that just shatter the memories? Who knows?
but if you're only going to play up to level 15 or 20 anyway, can't you just play it on that's not on vanilla on the normal ones and feel pretty much the same way? Like,
Yeah,
what's the difference?
I did that a year or two ago. I signed up for a month free trial. I might have just. I don't know if I just made a whole new account or what. No, no, I didn't. It was my base account. But I made because you could play up to level 20 for free, and I made a night elf druid, and I think I got to like level 8, and I was just like, oh, I'm fucking bored. But I was just playing by myself too. I'm sure if I had friends and the world was fresh and everything, I could definitely get into it again. I know I could.
Yeah,
It's
it is
just
kind of boring playing by yourself.
I just wouldn't have the time to invest like I used to.
Yep.
Like I remember one time, and again it was ninth or 10th grade, I believe. I was super sick, and instead of resting, I stayed home and I was running Scarlet Monastery for like 2 or 3 days. I was like deathly ill. I think I was off school for maybe 3 days, and like it just tissues all over the place, just germing up my keyboard and just living in my own just sickness. But
Uh,
but I just kept running Scarlet Monastery for like 2 days straight.
yeah, you're a real gamer.
Yeah, it was an awesome. Those are great instances because I wanted to get the Harad shoulder because even though it was male, and even though it didn't really help hunters so much, it looked really cool. So I wanted it anyway. And then,
Right. Yeah,
uh,
I understand.
yeah, so many good memories. We could have a whole
I
fucking.
remember going on raids. I was never a raid person because I hated being bossed around. So it's like I would go on raids with people and they would be like, "No, you can't roll on that Kalma," because my character was Kalma,
I remember.
and like you can't roll on that. I was like, "But I want
Fuck
it."
you,
And you're like, "Yeah, no, you can only raid with us like once a week, and these other people come with us every day, so you have to
they
wait
have
your
first
turn."
dibs. Yeah, right.
Like, God damn it! But I can't get on at the same time as you guys. I don't work the same schedule. So what the fuck is the point of me even being with you?
Yeah, it
I
worked.
hate I have always hated the end game of MMOs.
Oh, see, I was in. They still exist too. Black Dragon Elite. Arcanaut, if you're listening, what's up? That was the guild leader, Arcanon. I still remember many people by their names. JC, Haas, Skyly was like Arcanon's daughter or something. His wife played. I think his wife's name was Celeste. And then his son played, and he had a name. And then he had his whole family like raiding with him, and it was retrospect. It was weird, but
Yeah.
cool. But there's some like my best memories because I remember at one point I had full beast stalkers. I think I never got all the dragon stalkers. I only had a couple pieces, but I was there. I don't know if it was our guild's first time killing Ragnaros or the second. They might have done it once without me before I came back, but maybe it was the first time. But we killed Ragnaros and like it was fucking nuts. JC got the hammer because he bid on it because he was an arms warrior, so he got like the hammer of Ragnaros, whatever the hell it's called, and it was just like it was exhilarating.
Cool.
Like 40 people. It was fucking nuts. It was so cool. But the one time we killed it was one of the like lava golem bosses, and for some reason someone said they're trying to figure out who was gonna roll on this item, like you were talking about, and once someone muttered something, and Arcanon said, "Oh, what was that? What'd you say?" For some reason, I just said, "Penis." Who was that? Who was that? And then they were all like upset and trying to figure out who. And I never said it was me, and we moved on. But like they were like mad that I said that, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
fuck you."
That's why I always hated raids and like real guilds because I was such a troll, and I got into one of the most popular guilds on the server thanks to a friend of mine, Lard Jibs. Lard Jibs.
I remember that name.
I still talk to him.
Yeah.
I still talk to him. He's like my. I still talk to him on Hearthstone and stuff.
Ah, that's cool. I remember him.
Yeah, I got into that guild through him, and they made you submit an application. I remember doing this for the first time, being like, "What the fuck? This is like a job. This is supposed to be a video game."
Yeah.
And I was like so upset,
Like fuck you.
and I wrote up this fake application and just talked about how much I was in love with dudes and how gay I was. And they accepted me because they're like,
That's probably why.
they were just like,
Wait.
"Look, this is." Large was just like, "That's just how he is, but he's a good player. Just let him in, please."
That's just who
And
he
they let
is.
me in.
There was a guy named Tonerok
But,
that I somehow convinced to buy my epic mount because I had no gold. Because we did a few missions together. Like we met at like level 35 and we were friends. And somehow at level 60, I talked him into buying an epic mount for me and told him I'd pay him back and never did. So that's another silly memory I have. Oh, and then one
That
time
sucks.
I was running.
It's bad. That's a bad move.
I gave him some of the money back. I kept sending him some. Eventually, he quit asking. I did pay some of it back. I probably paid like 100 out of the 500 gold back. But not Strathholm. The one that was in the Plague Lands or whatever. But one of the end game instances where you fight Baron. No, it's not Baron Geddon. He's in Molten Core. Baron something. He's that like undead guy. He rides in on the horse, and then you have to fight.
Yeah,
And
I remember.
then
I fought him probably more than anybody.
yeah, and what was that for? Oh, I don't know. Chest. No, it wasn't the.
Boots.
It's probably the boots, but doesn't matter. But yeah, I ran this thing like 1,000 fucking times, and this one time it's just here it is. It's got to be at this time. Nope, didn't drop. But that stupid sword dropped, where like it glowed purple, and it didn't really do anything. It gave you like some stamina. It wasn't that great. It was like one-handed sword, and I was super pissed off. And someone wanted it. It was just some little group I was running, but so I just ninja'd it and started hearthing because I was pissed just to troll this guy, just to alleviate my anger that I didn't get the item drop I needed again. And the person messaged Arcanon because I was in Black Dragon Elite. He's like, "Oh, your guild member ninja'd this item," and like Arcanon messaged me. He's like, "Did you do this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Well, just try not to do that stuff." Like he didn't really care, but like he still had to like lecture me a little bit. Like, I was like, ugh.
Yeah,
Like, but
that's what I mean. Like,
he's like, "Oh, just
once
try,
once
don't
you get
do that again,
once,
please."
once you
Whatever.
get into the end game of an MMO, it's like a job. It's like you have a boss. You can't fuck around. You can't say the wrong things. You can't do the wrong things. You get fired. You get kicked out.
Right.
It's just like, this is a video game, man. Like, what is going
Yeah.
on? It's too much for
Still
me.
awesome though. Still a great experience in my life.
You know, it is cool because it's so weird and it provides memories, but
I just don't think
at the
that
same time,
magic will never be recaptured.
right.
I would like to try, but we'll see.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe.
So, I don't know. What do you think? You wanna sign off? Yeah, we're 2 hours and 20 minutes again, pretty much.
Yeah. People got a bonus Warcraft conversation.
Yeah. Um. All right.
All three of our readers that listen.
Ear readers. Let's see if I
Yeah.
have another. Pages are mixed up.
We got nothing. It's
Try-
late.
try-
It's one in the AM for me.
Trying to see what my outro is. Oh, this is it. Okay. All right. Well, you want me to sign off then?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Thank you so much for listening, Microphones. We'll be back next time with more gaming opinions for you to hate, more music for you to either love or be scared and confused by, and maybe we'll do a general discussion one of these times, but it seems like we have enough doing just games and music. We'll see. Find our stuff at ragdollfarcists.com, facebook.com/ragdollfarcists, and on Twitter and YouTube. And hopefully soon hear your podcast service of choice. And until next time, may the farce be with you.
Whee!
Goblins and dather and question hoes.